What's up, y'all? It's your boy Blue Style Speak.
What up, and what up? Salute to my brothers.
Absolutely. Gunner, what up?
Tad,
what up?
My brother Tad.
What we doing,
Make
OG
sure you
Wisdom?
check out the OG Wisdom podcast. You know what I mean? We're in it live and raw from a Lagoon. Good show, my niggas. I love y'all.
Most of our leaders come out of organizations. You have to be a part of an organization to be an effective leader. But how do we determine if you're an effective leader if you don't organize the people? You can't just grab the mic or your phone, get on YouTube and say, yo, I'm a good leader because I think I'm a good leader. You have to have a track record of organizing people, setting goals and agendas and getting them done.
Yeah. Politicians I don't really like. Activism is different because, you know, you got a goal. It has nothing to do with politics. When you are activist, you know, it's for your people.
Make sure y'all get ready to tune in to my brother, my big brother, C Gutter and Tad, new podcast, OG Wisdom. Better tune in to that. A lot of jewels, a lot of knowledge, a lot of lifestyle, a lot of street talk, a lot of hood tales, real stories. Check it out. OG Wisdom, Tad, C Gutter.
Peace. What's the word, family? What's the word? Welcome to another episode of the OG Wisdom Podcast with me, your brother Tad, and our brother C Gutter. C Gutter, where you at? All right. Give me one moment. Let me turn down my background noise. All right, family. We're going to have a powerful show today. Definitely a powerful show. Gutter, my brother, what's the word, man? How you feeling?
Ain't shit. I'm here.
Yo, man. You know, for the past couple of weeks, we've been talking about African-centered education. We've been on the line of those who've been fake. You know, I'm talking about Dr. Sukiyana, you know. But today we got a real one coming on.
Dr. $500 Mills.
Realer than the $500 meals, man.
Yo.
Hold up. It ain't a meal, though. It's a dating show now. Told you, man. Dudes out here be grifting. But, you know, I've been fortunate enough to be around the real ones, you know, yourself included. You know what I'm saying? You definitely one of the real ones. But when we talk about African-centered education, you know, we always look to our elder, Baba Walima Baruti, you know, salute to him and all his efforts. Everybody could definitely check him out at the AkobenHouse.com. Definitely follow Baba Walima Baruti.
Powerful.
However, we got one of his most prolific students in the house coming through today. You know, we've been talking about African-centered education, educating Black children, you know, which I think all Black folks in their community should be concerned with. We should be concerned with the education of our young people. But not just be concerned, but we should take an active approach. And I mean, everybody's not cut out to be an educator. We know that. But we could definitely point them in the direction of those who are truly doing the work. We can do like I did, start a youth group and have conversations about what's going on with young people in the news as well in the community and in their lives. What's going on with them in school. That way, any issues that may be arising, we can always get ahead of them. You know, we always should take a proactive approach. But this brother we got coming in today, man, yo, he's dare I say decades ahead of his time. Are you familiar with our brother Marcus Kline, Gutter?
I wasn't until you showed me the like the presentation with him and the little young kings.
Yeah.
You showed me that made me aware of. Dude is prolific.
Yo, he's done some powerful, dynamic things with our young people. You know,
Especially
but while
the STEM, I mean, because the math, and that's critical, especially dealing with the technology.
Yeah.
Our science, those are critical, and it's not even that it's critical. I think we kind of, as a group, I ain't even want to say lost our way as far as the I don't think that through our education, we understood that we are the creators of the math and the sciences.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when we get tapped back into that, then it becomes easier.
Yeah. I saw a video.
Because I'm going back to school, right? So I did
Right.
the entrance exam, and the dude was like, yo, the math part was when last time you been to school? And I'm like 95. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, but when you tapped in, you tapped in.
Yeah.
Once you understand, once you learn certain math equations and stuff like that, it don't never really go away.
Right.
You just need to be reintroduced to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's dope. You're going back to school.
Yeah. Fact. You know, I got the injury, so I can't move around like I normally could. So, you know, make good use of the time.
Make this time productive. No doubt. No doubt. Our sister Keisha's out on assignment today. You know, she was a little under the weather, so we wish our sister a speedy recovery, you know. But we still got that feminine energy. You know, we got our sister Dr. Covington coming back to join us today.
Okay.
You know. And when she gets in here, I'm gonna let her share her stories. You know, I've known Dr. Covington for about 10 years now, and she's always been on point. I like to call her the daughter of Dr. Amos Wilson. Dr. Covington, when you ready, give me a thumbs up, sis.
Oh, that's the b-balling queen.
Yeah.
Busting dudes' ass in one-on-one, making them
See,
mad.
if you ain't have your injury, God, I tell you, I don't see y'all play a one-on-one.
I mean, I don't get mad if they bust my ass, because you know we had females in our hood that bust niggas' ass anyway. So that shit wasn't never
nice with the ball.
It was never a thing with, remember Larry Anderson's sister.
Okay,
Tracy.
Okay, right.
Nice,
shout out to Larry.
Busting
Shout out to Larry.
Like, cause she went there, she played, I think she played whatever little college she went to. She played ball. Tracy was like that, bro. Busting niggas' ass. So
did she beat you?
Yeah, she cracked me. She's older than me. Yeah, she cracked me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so she got you when you was a little dude.
Yeah. Like, you know, when I got older, it just the physical things she couldn't do with me no more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Start getting the muscle mass and all that stuff.
I had the muscle mass, but her shot, nigga, water, head fake, crossover, all that.
All right.
So I love to see the sisters busting ass. I love that shit.
Well, let's bring in our all-star
and smart
athlete and scholar. I'm about to tell you, our sister Dr. Covington. Dr. Covington, what's the word?
Give thanks. Can I be heard?
Yes, you can, loud and clear.
Those was the good old days, I'm gonna tell you. The last time I beat my son in a game one-on-one, that was the last time we played.
Already, that's how that go.
That's how that go.
Yeah, that's how that go.
Got to go out on top.
Yeah. Once they beat you, I'm not playing you no more.
Exactly.
Or if I barely win, that's the last one, nigga. I'm hanging it up.
Oh wow, it's so good to be here with you guys. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Of course, Doc. Of course.
Gotta send a shout out to Sister Keisha. Get well soon, sis.
Yes, sis is here. She's tuned in. You know, she says salute.
Yeah, she here. She in the.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
She in the place to be.
Oh man.
So Dr. Covington, I was talking about our brother Marcus Kline. You want to share any thoughts with the brother? Like, how were you introduced to his information?
King Tay, you know how I was introduced.
You don't know.
So I forget how I actually found out that he was given a talk in Brooklyn. Was it Brooklyn? It Brooklyn? Yeah. That he was given a talk. I don't know how I found out. I really now, years later, know it was divine intervention, because that's actually how you and I met.
Yes.
But I made my way up to Brooklyn. I had my son in tow. I think he was like 10 years old at the time, something like that. Oh, here we go.
Here we are.
Here we go. And I think he was taking a picture, right? That's why he's not in the picture.
No, that's him in the middle in the picture.
No, that's Marcus Kline.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh no, I was saying my son. I think that was my son.
Oh, your son. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. But he gave a dynamic talk in the middle of Brooklyn, and it was just amazing to like bear witness to sort of like his incubated genius and the work that he's been doing with the young people, in and around Chicago. I believe, if I, don't want to misspeak, but yeah, it's amazing the work that we got to see, kind of like the starting points, like the seeds that he had been planting, and to hear that they have been growing and sprouting ever since is very dynamic. I am excited to see it and talk with him today.
Yeah, I got introduced to Brother Marcus' teachings when me and Sister Tim, she's in the chat. Peace, Sister Tim. We started our youth group party. Parents actively reclaiming their youth, and I was just on YouTube surfing the internet looking for ideas, and somehow his videos popped up, and the things he was doing with young people were amazing. And I was just in awe and inspired and hopeful that we could turn our situation around as Black folks. I mean, we've done it before. I mean, right. It was our resistance that freed us from enslavement. It was our resistance that crushed the Jim Crow laws. It's our resistance that got civil rights laws passed. It was our resistance that done so much dopeness. I always tell people it wasn't at the benevolence of the oppressor that we made the strides that we've made as Black folks in America, but it was our resilience. And it was people like Marcus Kline, who planted the seeds in the young people coming behind. Because our ancestors, they always prepared for the future. What I see a lot of so-called leaders right now, they focus too much on the past. And the past is beautiful. That's why we have the Sankofa bird, know where you come from so you know where you're going. But some people are stuck in the past time paradise and aren't creating a positive paradigm for our children in the future. But our brother Marcus Kline is doing that. He's feeding the minds of young people. He's introducing them to the greatness of Black folks around the world. Whether you're a Black nationalist or a Pan-Africanist, he's still giving up the goods. He's giving up that solid information. But not just the information. He's also active in the community. I believe his magazine I think he was a writer for the Four Corners magazine. And that's one of the things I remember early, before I knew who he was. I remember the magazine. You just pick him up at the bookstore at A&B bookstore downtown Brooklyn. Which y'all laughing at?
I'm laughing at the comment.
Yes.
Of course. Real school, like actual academy, not panhandling for over a decade.
Right.
Standing on lineage business. Yeah.
Yo, I mean, it's what it is, man. Look, I told the audience family, I said I'm gonna behave because
you did say you would behave.
And I'm gonna behave. We got company, we got guests today because I've been on Dr. Umar's line. And the reason why I've been on his line, because many in the community believed him. We was rallying behind him, we was championing him. We were donating and supporting his cause and mission. But the level of arrogance and so dismissive of everyone who has questions. It's insulting. But here you have somebody doing the real business of educating Black children, not just the boys, educating Black children. I think that's something that we need to put the spotlight on, because unfortunately, too many times we're always pointing out the negative in our community. And rightfully so, though. We got to have a vetting process. Gutter, we from the hood. Dudes can't just come and chill on our block out of nowhere and join our inner circle if you're not vetted. Like, what's your resume? Who are you? Who brought you through? Where was you last summer? Where's your peoples at?
Can you stand getting ranked on?
Can you stand getting ranked on?
Especially down our way. If you can't tell them, it's gonna be bad.
Because we got jokes. We got jokes on dudes.
We got jokes on joke. And we was just talking about this earlier, is like how harsh we are with each other. Like, you know, outside of America look at us and think we be on them. But they don't realize how hard we are on each other. So it's definitely definitely a vetting process in America, in our, you know what I mean, whatever region you in.
Right.
You know what I mean? Is you gonna go through that grinder before you accept it.
Right. And I think in a Black nationalist / Pan-African movement,
we have to do the same.
We got to do the same. We have to vet people out. We have to see what they're made of.
You got to go through a gauntlet.
Yeah, you got to go through the gauntlet. You know, there was one organization, I'm not going to say the name, but part of it was you had to go through the gauntlet. The brothers stood in the line. You had to walk through and take them hits like we in high school. Dead serious, Gutter. We had to take them hits. You walk through the line.
You get put on. You got to fight with, you know what I'm saying? You got to fight with more than one dude.
And this was in the movement.
To make sure you don't run. You know what I'm saying?
And you're not weak.
Yeah.
And you're not weak.
Yeah, and that's going back, like, that's just epigenetics.
Right.
Because that goes back. That's just part of our
rites of passage.
A passage of knowing
in our DNA. Yeah.
You can be one of the warriors.
Right. And I'm thankful I was deemed to be one of the warriors. You know?
And you gotta have a level in, like, it ain't just you having hard, you gotta have a level of intelligence. Because nobody wants a dummy around.
Right. Well, we definitely had political education classes. We definitely had that, which I thought was dope. And it made, but I was young. I was still in my 20s back then. So as we fast forward and I look at so many charlatans coming to the movement, fleecing the people, you got dudes.
It's good to see one that ain't.
Right. Yes. And he's not the only one. You know, we got our brother Marcus Kline. We got our brother Ajay Tahimbe up in Harlem. We got our brother Q Butter. We got Baba Baruti. We got the Uhuru Academy down in Texas. You know, there are people out here doing it. You know what I'm saying? We had one right on Fulton Street with the Queen Mother Ali McLean, who transitioned, you know, but at the Sankofa Academy. Down on Fulton by the high.
Right by Boys High.
Right. By Fulton is connected.
Right on the corner, yeah.
Exactly, you know. And that's what I'm saying. So when we talk about we're pro-Black or African-centered, we know that it's all about community. We're supposed to be community-centered if we're pro-Black like we say we are. Yeah, but when you got somebody with when you got a super big ego and you want to be the only one to do it, and you don't think you need assistance, you know, it's amazing, because one of the things our brother Marcus Kline do with his young people is when they get stuck on the problem, he have them call for assistance. Remember, when we was in public school, you better not ask nobody nothing. You better figure it out on yourself, or you get deemed a cheater and you get a low grade. But he's teaching the children how to work together. He's teaching them the principles of unity, which is super dope.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna get that in the European school. You figure it out on your own, or you just fail.
Because they not taught like us.
Right.
See, naturally it comes, whoever's older is gonna teach you whoever's younger. Like the 5-year-old gonna teach the 3-year-old.
Right.
7-year-old gonna teach the 5-year-old, the 10-year-old gonna teach the 7-year-old, so on and so forth. Because you know, with us, it's like 3 years separations.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Us coming up, and this is basically anywhere in America. After 3 years, like you, like, no, he's out of
a different age group.
Yeah,
until you get older.
Until we adults. I'm talking about in our formative years, so that's how it should go. The ones that's above assist the ones that's below. And that's just each one teach one thing that the Nation of Gods and Earth, the NOI, is just this been instilled in us for generations on generations, bro.
Yeah. Family, if y'all here, please like, subscribe, and share the video. If you find value in what we're talking about while we wait on our guests today. I had to remember we're in different time zones as well.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But Doc, what do you want to add on to the cipher?
Well, I was just hearing you talking about the differences between different types of communities and how they educate more to the point, being responsible for your own learning. There has been a push, I think, over the last more than a decade now, for collaborative learning. So you're seeing a lot more of that, which I think it has its, I think it has its value, right? But I think also too, you're seeing in sort of like the high school and below grade levels, you're seeing a lot of learning losses that lead to more collaborative work, which collaborative work is really good. I think you can learn a lot working in groups of 2 or more on certain projects or certain ideas. But I think there has been a lot of learning losses, which leads to more and more collaborative work and a lessening of the standards as it pertains to formalized learning. And that's, just kind of like most of these standardized, young people are graded a lot on the basics, right? Is, reading and writing and mathematics. There's not a lot of social studies or language, that's more learning specific. So with the advent of, and, I don't know if it's a good time to even to forward this idea, but I'll say with the advent of AI, I think that it is the gift and the curse. And I think that in some semblances, we may be in trouble. I want to say we are in trouble, but I like to speak positively into things. But I'm going to say this is very troubling. Mm-hmm. You had COVID, right? COVID promoted a lot of learning loss with our young people. And now you have programs like the AI, which are people's, entrance ticket to just let AI do the talking for you.
Yeah.
And therefore, it seems like people believe like they don't have to learn anything more because they could just click a button and they can get the answer, not realizing that, where the information came from with regard to AI in a lot of respects. It came from programming.
Right.
People programming the AI. And I want a disclaimer. I am not an expert in AI. I don't know as much as the next person because I don't study it that closely, but I am looking more into it. I was disavowing it actually, like I don't want to deal with that. But we see that a lot of times when we don't get the information, or sometimes we get the information too late after everyone else has run away with it. So I have decided that I'm going to invest some more time in getting to know what AI is all about and how it is utilized. So those are my just off the cuff remarks.
Yeah, our sister said AI should be used as the tool, but you must understand what it is you're using it for. And that's a fact. Like with the telephone, television, Yeah. Our brother standing on lineage business says you have common sense and life experience, doctor. You are on point.
I look at it like this. Every technological advance has dumbed down the larger population every time anyway.
Yeah.
Like the internet, you have less people that really research. They research the internet.
Yeah. Yeah, as opposed to when we were learning, going to bookstores, going to the library.
Like you can't research the internet because almost everything has a slant, one way or another.
Definitely.
They have a what? What'd you say, Sika?
It has a slant, one way or another.
Okay.
You know,
right. The author has a point.
Most of the information has an agenda when you're going on the internet.
You definitely have to consider the source for sure.
Yeah, and that's the problem is like people don't consider the sources.
Yeah, but family,
that's the problem. But that goes to the educational system.
Well, speaking of education, we got our brother here.
All right,
he's in the back stewing up. So, family, if y'all ready for a powerful conversation, we sitting down with our brother Marcus Kline, the visionary founder of Freedom Home Academy, and Nkrumah International Academy. We're going to discuss his revolutionary approach to education, but this ain't just about teaching. This is about building a foundation for liberation, knowledge, and self-determination. Family, I want y'all to welcome my brother and yours, our brother Marcus Kline.
Good to be here, brothers and sisters. Good to be here, no doubt.
Greetings.
Brother, this is long overdue.
It's an honor for me. Hey, brother Tad, I want to say this, man. Do you remember that picture we took?
Yes.
When I came to Brooklyn.
Yeah, bro, I got it right here. Hold up. Bro, before you came on, we had the picture pulled up. Hold on, let me find that joint again. This joint right here.
Yeah, so that's the picture right there.
Yeah, because we was already friends on social media interacting. Because you said, how you found out about this, brother? I said, your post. She was like, what's your name? I said, Tad. He's like, yeah. And we were just kicking it from there.
That's yeah, that's right.
And what's crazy, the night I met Dr. Covington. She had her son with her, and we were just building on all the powerful information that you shared that night. Right. You know, and I thought your approach was super dope on how it was you were educating the children.
I appreciate that, indeed. Yeah.
We appreciate you. Because I don't know if you heard, we've been on dude's line. The fakes and the frauds. We've been on the line. I've been on it for years. I said I'm gonna behave because
Operation Exposure.
Yeah, I said you know why, brother?
Bear with the dashiki. Get on the line.
Yeah, you've been on it.
Yeah. Shiki.
On his
Marcus Kline.
Heavy.
This is my brother C Gutter. This is the real C Gutter, not nobody copying the name. This is the real one, original one, the Junior Mafia C Gutter.
Good to meet you, brother. Good to meet you, no doubt.
It's our brother Marcus Kline from the shop. So, brother, you're celebrating 20 years today, right? 20-year anniversary.
20 years, man. You know, I think this is definitely apropos that we're doing an interview a day before, school starts. Actually, school starts on Tuesday because of the holiday. But this does mark our 21st year, really unofficial 21st, but officially our 20th year that we've been operating Freedom Home Academy. And I just wanted to make a quick correction. We operate 4 schools, not 2. We have a nursery school with the babies starting at 18 months, where we get them to read before they even get to preschool, and the preschool is called a school of literacy. We opened that up before my wife passing. My wife passed in 2014. My oldest son's mother. Right. I have an 8-year-old. He's attending the school. I opened the preschool for him, nursery school for him, just like I opened up the Freedom Home Academy for our oldest son, Akobin, who's now in medical school. He's at the medical school now. But the impetus.
We love this.
Yeah, because we're not even started yet. But keep going, brother.
What people, a lot of people that know me, I published a magazine for almost 15 years before I opened the school. And a lot of people knew me through that, which made it easy transition to open up a school in my basement, which is kind of odd, a man having school in his basement. So I think that made an easy transition because the community here in Chicago knew who I was. So we was able to do that, looking around for schools in Chicago that didn't satisfy my wife and I we were very apprehensive about that. A lot of culture, just like today. It's a lot of culture, but it's not academic prowess. It's not academic excellence. I mean, in my opinion, of course. So we decided to look for an online curriculum. At that point, we found something called Glenn Doman. So I like the parents and those brothers and sisters who don't have children yet, to kind of take notes, because I'm going to give quite a bit of information, because the object of this talk is for us to grow relative to educational development. We're going to talk, quite a bit about lesson plans, how to create lesson plans and curricula. I think, which is it's the linchpin of education now, that being able to create something in your home that will enable you to teach your children first, and then get some nephews and nieces in a building that you're not using, or a room that you're not using, because opening up a school is not expensive. It's not. I've been saying that. If you've been hearing me for the last 15, 16 years,
you didn't need $4 million.
Absolutely not. We didn't need 4,000. really. I mean, just to be honest, for total transparency, like I told on Brother Boyce Watkins show quite a few times, it's maybe $5,000. If you're able to work that. I was a business major in college, so cats I went to school with, they look at my business model, they scratch their head like, how are you able to open up anything with less than $10,000? But I teach parents how to do it, what areas to do it in, and how financially effective this can be. So if you want to talk about efficacy and how you can raise children with this type of income, we'll open up a school. It's very productive. We're independent, so we haven't received a quarter from the U.S. government or state government since we opened our doors. Everything is independent. Our parents keep us running, which in turn we have to be able to satisfy the needs of the parents.
So hold up, brother.
Yeah.
Fully funded by the people.
The people, absolutely.
Not the, because I thought I heard somewhere else was going to be the first one. But I want to share it with something with the people real quick.
Go ahead.
Because I be on dude line, but I like results.
Yeah.
See, we can talk about this all day.
Yeah.
But I just want to share with the family what results look like.
Ian, what about ENT?
Hold up, let's go back to the beginning.
All right, little brother. What's your name, man?
Island.
Good. How old are you? What question? What sentence you gonna read? The first one, the second one? Which one?
First one.
Okay, read the first two. Go ahead.
They call simplistic people easy to work with. I am positive that everyone needs a plenitude of water.
Good. Keep going then.
The
First off, why is this girl breathing hard on my neck? Girl, she back up. I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
The first potential plan has been in place for a while.
Next.
Who would like their name to be slandered as opinions
Opposed
to the truth?
Mm-hmm.
It's my opinion that the government had a sinister operation during the pandemic.
That's right. That's right. These words are political, I see.
I'm stuck on a little bit.
Okay. Sound it out, young man.
My belief postulate that all.
What's the long U sound? U, right? So what's STU?
Still.
DENT.
Students.
There you go. Good job. Should. Listen. Good.
Listen to their heart.
Okay. Look at this. What's RENT?
RENT.
What sound is that?
I don't know.
What about EN? What sound does EN make?
N.
EN. What about ENT?
ENT.
Mhm.
Ends.
Ent. So what's
Ent.
RENT?
RENT. Rinse.
Good. And PA?
Parents.
There you go. Good job, little brother. Excellent work, man. That's how you use them sounds. Bro.
Oh man, that's super dope.
Hey, I thought you was gonna show one of my 8-year-olds, doing algebra 2 problems.
I showed that a couple of shows ago. I got a few queued up though. That's not it. I got a few queued up. That's just the
I'm just messing with the program. That's all.
Nah, it's all good, brother. You home.
let me say this.
Yes, sir.
From a foundational standpoint, right? Even before we get to the academics, we have to have a solid cultural foundation in the school. The children must know who they are before they open a book, right? So I'm going to show some books that I have to my left, which will be on your right side. I'm going to show them. Parents can jot them down. It's not academic. It's totally foundational. These are books that I used. Now remember, my wife was the impetus. She was the visionary before she passed. She's the one that injected in me, I want you to open the school. I'm like, nah, I don't teach children. Now I've been teaching adults. I want to just teach my son at home. She like, nah, we about to do this. We're going to set the basement up. We're going to paint. We're going to get a business license. We're going to roll. And I'm like,
did you lay the tiles down? You lay the tiles down, get new doors.
Right. So it was her. When she passed in 2014, I'm left holding the ball. So, by that time, I understand how things are ran. I understand, the teaching methodology, which is totally against the pedagogy of the system, Rockefeller's educational system. Right. I get PhDs to come into the school all the time, and they say we can't do this because they didn't learn it that particular way. But the way we do it is so unorthodox. But doing further research, this is how our ancestors taught it in the South. Before Reconstruction, during slavery, yes. We always have been serious about education, always since day one. So here, real quick. This is number one. This is the first book. This is the first book that I read when developing the school.
Asafo.
Right. Yeah. We named our son Akobin, right? And later on, I found out that one of my mentors, Malawi Baruti.
Yes.
This school is called the Akobin Institute. So yes. Nothing is happenstance, right? Everything happens for a reason.
That's correct.
And that Asafo book, this is like the Bible to me. This is how we created the culture, our code of culture in the school. And then from there, it developed into further curricula. But like I said before, these are books that you need to develop the foundation. And of course, EY.
Yes, a warrior's character.
Another developmental piece that we use for the school and for the students now. And of course, this is another one of my heroes right here. All the students should have this in their pocket because when this brother developed this, he developed it for the positive education for our children, right?
Yes. And
that's Zach Kondo, who also made a very compelling book that I did, issues on the assassination of Malcolm X, the conspiracy to assassinate Malcolm X. Zach Kondo also wrote that book too. Dope. And then this here, how to teach your children. When you're trying to teach your children how to read fundamentally, this book is imperative that you have in your library. Definitely. And of course, Revolutionary Suicide by the Minister Dr. Huey P. Newton. We teach Black Panther. We teach Black Panther Party ideologies. We learn the children, 7, 8, all the way up to our high school. They know who these individuals are. They know the ideologies. They read Frantz Fanon. They read Frantz Fanon just as much, if not more, than the ideologies of the Black Panther Party. All those things are important. And the reason why is you talked earlier about action, like activity. Like talking is you know, it's obviously it's a need for that, right? But when you get down to activity, and I always ask the parents who come in, what was the most productive African American since we've been here? What's the most productive organization that we've had over here? And it's an argument between Marcus Garvey's movement and the Black Panther Party. Can we name any organization that created over 35 different programs while being assassinated by the state? You know, we can't.
Right.
You know, we can't. You know, I mean, even if you talk about the NOI, well, that's a totally different story. Yeah. However, this is the third book that I always recommend. Message to the Warriors by Baruti as well.
Baba Baruti.
Yeah. Yes. So, and the reason why I'm speaking a lot about Baruti, and probably I know all three of you know his work, but
yes, we do.
His work is from a contemporary standpoint, it's revolutionary, because his ideas they correlate to the needs of the youth, right? Immediately. And that's what I get. That's what I receive. I receive the youth in my doors all the time that have problems. And the problems mostly stem from those European instructors at their previous school, you know, not being able to identify the warriors, right? They put warriors over there, they put them on medication. Right. So by the time they get to me, it's the next step is military school. That's what the parents say. This is the last resort. But Marcus, I need you to do this for them. I need you to do that for them. I'm up for it. You know, I'm up for it. Because,
or we might say, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Or we might say they identify the warriors and they actively want to medicate them. That's
absolutely
another way of seeing. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Salute to Doggy Diamonds TV checking in.
It's another good book here. I know if you're familiar with his brothers, he's prolific in his work. So when we talk about research, we talk about the ability to research. I heard you talking earlier about resources, using the internet as a resource. and back in the day,
we had to go to libraries.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what I had to do in 94, 93, 94, 95, 96, while developing the magazine, I stood under the tutelage of Baba Steve Coakley. Steve Coakley was my mentor. He showed me how to do research. So when we researched for the magazine, yes.
Oh man.
So those things I had to learn. So researching is very important too. Again, the development of a curriculum. Of course, we all know about this piece. Because in order to teach children specifically what racism is, sometimes we get caught up in what it is. We have to know what it is in order to teach it.
Rest in power. Dr.
Book. And last but not least,
Rugel's Unix. That's right. Baba Baruti again.
Yeah. and those things are, they are fundamental. Yes. So then, of course, we can go into, but we started the school in 2003, obviously, like I said before, in our basement, and then we slowly moved up. We slowly moved up to another house, and then we moved from that house to a building. I think this is like our 7th location since we've been in operation, and we move in order to expand, right?
Yeah.
A lot of parents, and I say a lot, I'm not exaggerating. They want us to get government money because a lot of our people don't really understand, or I would say overstand, what happens when we invite. It's a difference between an invite and them coming in.
Right.
Unwarranted. When you invite the government.
Like sinners.
Yeah, no question. You invite them in. So when you invite them in, there's a lot of information, that you give up and a lot of freedoms that you give up when you allow the state to come into your institution, especially if you want to teach, and give food to the students that, the state considers a radical approach of teaching our children. When you consider radical or militant or all those key words that get you targeted, when you start inviting the state in, you start to have issues, and your curriculum begins to be watered down. So you think that a charter school would get a charter if they were teaching Dr. Nancy P. Newton, or if they were teaching Frantz Fanon, and they showed that charter curriculum to the state, and the state allowed them to get a charter? Absolutely not. So just being aware and having a more of a political outlook, because education is a political animal, and whenever you think it's not, that educational process that you're using will not be effective. You'll just be teaching more status quo children to go out and get jobs, and work again for the state. So we started the high school after I think that was 2018. We started in Nkrumah International Academy. My son Aquaban, he was graduating from the 8th grade, so we were driving around again, looking for high schools. He said, "Well, man, why don't you start your own high school, Abu?" So I said, "Man, that's a good idea. So let's go ahead and get it cracking." So the universe allowed me to just key in. I don't know how it happened, but parent called me and say, "Look, we got a building over here right behind the mosque. We got a building. If you want to get in, come check it out." Really, this is the day after I decided to start a school. So we were able to occupy that building to start the high school, and
that's divine timing.
Absolutely, and that's how it works. That's how it works.
Real community as well.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Real,
I mean, we wouldn't be operational if not for that.
Yeah.
If not for brothers that, I mean, look, check this out. Y'all been in the conscious community. Y'all understand how it works. So operating the magazine, the talk was always what? Nation building, right?
Yes.
So 15 years I'm doing the magazine, right? I know a lot of people all over the country, especially in Chicago. I'm from Detroit, especially in Chicago, right? So we start the school, and guess how many of those rah that was with me all them years talking about, as soon as we get an opportunity to open up a school, we're gonna die. My wife told me, she said them rah dudes, they ain't gonna be here.
It's just a guess.
Open house we did in our house, in our living room.
I'm just guessing.
Just one.
One?
Just one. I started in our basement. My son is sitting right in front of me. He on the computer. He nodding his head. I had a child in my arm, right? He wasn't even walking yet. I had my son. I had 7 other students on the first day. I was the only instructor, right? Wow. So all them cats that I knew, Black Power cats, NOI cats. Yeah, it was about 5 or 6 of them. I'm close with a lot of dudes. Kline, I'm coming. I'm bringing my seed. Ooh, I'm coming. Word is bond. I'm bringing. Ooh, right? I see them to this day. They done came in, had visits, came out. I ain't gonna do it. And you know why? I ain't even gotta mention.
It requires the work.
I ain't gotta mention the why.
It requires work, not the rhetoric.
Listen, brother, I had close friends, close comrades tell me to my face, I'm embarrassed for you to see where my child is right now.
Wow.
When they see them students that you see on the video, it's hundreds of videos, Tad. It's hundreds. I've been doing them videos, man, since my son, who's 22, since he was 3. I've been doing the same video, traveling all over the country.
I remember when Oba was a baby.
Now he's 8. So just imagine them people I came up with, they have children my son's age, right? And they're like, man, I wish I would have.
Hold up.
They cheated their kids.
You touching on something I wanted to ask you though, too.
Yeah. And before you go on, Tad, like I just want to say, like when he talking about from the beginnings, remember I said I went to It's a black Christian school in Pineywood, Mississippi. He started with a shack. You know what I'm saying? In like late 1800s or early 1900s. I can't remember because I ain't been in school for.
What's the name of it? Piney Woods.
Piney Woods.
Piney Woods.
You know what I mean? And that's just to go to show, like when we were speaking before against Fozzie Bear, we were speaking about him. It's like this is what it really takes.
I heard that one yet, but go ahead.
You start from the beginning. You start with the basics.
Yes,
like he's talking about all these grand things, and you got to start with the basics. Right. Because if you don't have your immediate community involved, then you're not going to get anywhere.
That's right. That's right.
So that's why I knew that was game. Like
that's what I was about to ask you. That's what I was about to ask you. The next statement what I was going to say was, do you really believe then that was the original?
Not.
That was the original plan?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Like I didn't remember I was in prison, so I wasn't there in the exception of him talking what he was talking.
Yeah.
I came home 17. So I'm new to the internet. I'm watching the internet, and I'm like, oh, dude talk some good stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then when he starts saying, like, I've been in prison. So I done heard game for 16 straight years. I done heard lies like dudes in prison
every day.
Liars. You know what I mean? Like dudes put 10 on the 2. If anybody know the phrase, they'll put a 10 on the 2. They had an ounce, but now they turned that ounce into 10 bricks. They they shot one dude, then they turned that into he was a serial killer, 13 murders. Right. You know what I mean? Right. So so I didn't heard this continuously for 16 years.
Let me
pick up on.
Let me say this, let me say this though, right? And you obviously can imagine how many people bring this to me all the time about dude, right? One thing I don't do, I don't care who it is, bringing another cat down or jumping on him.
That don't got nothing to do with what I'm doing.
That ain't my move. But see, what I want to do, what I want to be clear is individuals, and I ain't gonna mention, who and what, but individuals have tried to pit me against him, right? I don't speak anything about dude. I never have, I never will, and I have history with him. It's a sordid history.
You don't have to,
him, but I never mentioned dude.
The simple fact that you got results already. Like you don't have to. You don't like.
Right.
That would be like me speaking on somebody I beat up already. Like when we were younger and I beat him up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I show results of
you're already winning
in the actions that we had, and then I'm gonna continuously speak on him. Even if he's speaking on
no doubt, but
because I speak already,
but what has to be
not putting it in that context where y'all.
I know. Yeah,
I'm just putting in the context. If I'm already showing and proving from my actions, I don't have to denigrate anybody.
Right. You don't have to. And what has to be clarion, right? It has to be like super clear. When you do the work, like you just said, when you do the work, there's no need to even mention anything else except the work. See, the work identifies you, not what we saying. Cat's gonna say, well, man, what dude doing over there? Shit, look, as far as I know, nothing. On to the next move. Because when you start spending time on that, as opposed to, man, I want to
time away from the bill.
Right.
Time away from the mission.
No question. Let's link up with 2 other dudes that's doing the same thing similar, man. Let's bring it to another city, right? Yeah. That's the move right there. But we ain't gotta talk about it, you know what I'm saying?
I don't want to move too far from the question I was going to ask you, because you was talking about the homies that you invited in the beginning and they were embarrassed. With you being in Chicago, is that challenging? Like, is Chicago turned up like they say they are? Because I haven't been to Chicago in years, and I was just passing through. Yeah. And do you see some of the students that you once had or potentially have out there in the streets? Because I know for many of us trying to do the work and save young people in the community, we're not gonna get everybody.
Right.
Has that been a challenge for you? Like you seen little dudes you knew when they was little who had potential go the wrong direction?
I have, and to be honest, I can mention just on one hand how many students that I've had that left the school and that's kind of out there on the block. You know what I'm saying? It's maybe I maybe can ask my son. He can be more accurate in that, but it's a few because I think what is most important too that we have to realize, and of course y'all on the screen have already realized this. It's important to have a black man in the crib, in the house, if he's around, right? That's the first level. If he's around, we ain't talking about if he's productive. If he's around, and I say that in all sincerity because the parents that I've had that wouldn't be considered quote unquote conscious, right? That have children. Those children, they grow up, they're not necessarily on the block. They're just not as productive as they could have been if they would have stayed, right? So the students that I see on the block, like I said, it's maybe 3 or 4 of them that I know I can go right now to the area and I know they posted up. Those students, they didn't have a male. I was and one of my other instructors, Baba Phillip, those were the only 2 males, positive male models that they had in their lives. So when they left us, it was no one else. So they on the block. So hopefully that answers your question. But
yeah, it brings me to my other question.
That definitely tells.
Yeah,
just from experience.
Your position in life, educated black man, father, community activist, organizer. These are things, and you have a Jegna, a living Jegna that you could go to, Baba Baruti.
Right.
For those who don't know, Jegna is an African term for mentor.
Yeah.
Right? How important is that when taking on this task? And I ask that because I had a youth group years ago and a school in Africa. So many people want access to the children, but don't conduct themselves appropriately in front of children.
Right.
How important is it that you develop yourself as a man? Not saying any of us are perfect,
right?
But we should be consciously working on ourselves if we sincerely want to have access to the children and be a powerful force in their life. Could you speak to that?
Yes. So even before speaking to that, that's an excellent question and an excellent point. By asking yourself then, should there be some type of system in place before we even have children, brother?
Right.
And my brother Omar Wally, if he watching, he had me on the show and I said that, and it wasn't a popular opinion. It wasn't a popular opinion because I see parents every day and I see the maldevelopment of those children from the parents. And I say quietly in my head, he and she didn't need to have a child. They didn't. They weren't prepared. So now those children, since they are maldeveloped, they grow up to be maldeveloped young adults and maldeveloped adults, right? So if we are going to teach, to answer your question directly and very succinctly, if we are going to teach our children, we must have a grasp on how our children learn. Cursing at them, feeding them garbage, all those things has a direct effect on the learning processes. So the book that I showed you, Multisensory Teaching, there's studies that show this isn't something that I'm saying without any proof and being backed by any statistical data, but studies have shown based on food and what goes into the mind of a child, there will be a direct effect on the actions and activities of the child, right? So when they're in homes that's not reading, not giving the children positive affirmations daily, right? Now, there's always, the outliers, those children that come out of those systems,
absolutely,
and come out
on point,
doing well. But those are outliers. Those are the few, the Michael Jordans and the LeBron Jameses, because we always talk about our children. Are we gonna go pro? I want to spend a lot of time on the athletics part, right? All of us aren't going to do that, right? So let's spend more time on academics and character. So character building, and I want to go off a little bit and talk about how there's differences between when white families send their children to sports and black parents send their children to sports, right? What happens with white children, they say, well, look, we're not focused on them going pro. We're more concerned with the character building that basketball and football teams have, because they're going to take those character building principles and they're going to use them in their business that they own. Right?
Yes, communication, collaboration.
Talk to people. Right, exactly. And what do we do with that?
Discipline.
We say, man, we going to the league, son. We're about to get this contract and get this paper, right?
Forget about the rest of the team.
Forget about the team. Forget about how you treat other people. Forget about when we were shorties, when we played ball, right? The coach was always giving us jewels.
Yep.
I know me particularly. I had a coach, but when I played basketball in high school, there's things that he taught me today that I still use, right? So those things aren't being centralized by us. And of course, again, I'm speaking in generalities, but for the most part, they're not, because we're focused on, the monetary outcome. And I would say 98% of those children that play in inner city sports that try to get to the league, they don't. And they don't have anything to fall back on, because there was no centralized development in education, while they was hooping and playing football and things of that nature. So for that, I would just say a balance needs to be made, because it's important too when children come into African-centered schools, like mine. The parents come in like, man, I want my show to go to the league, but for now, I'm gonna have him at your school, So hopefully he'll take that, the knowledge that he received here, and he can go ahead and take that to the league. I'm like, look, I've been doing this 20 years. I got just 4. I got one Major League Baseball player. His name is Zion Rose. He plays for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Okay. He's a Major League Baseball player. And I got 3 that's on their way to the NBA. And that's in 20 years. We got PhDs. We got doctors. We got other teachers. Players. Yeah, right.
For some reason, we continually fall short in communicating to young people who love sports how many hundreds, maybe thousands of ways to make money in and around those entities and those corporations, right? Yeah, there's so many different ways to make money in those arenas.
It is
that we fall short on communicating to the young people. I mean, some of the positions have visibility, but then some of them have, the real opportunity for you to make impact and make money. Obviously, people want to go to work, they want to make money, but to have, to have that impact and maybe some visibility, but more along the lines, you're earning money and doing something intertwined with something that you actually love, which is football, basketball, baseball, tennis, whatever it is.
Right. So, and those careers, a lot of them don't even require, a lot of education. If we're talking about the movement of AI now, and how popular that's becoming. Now we're not talking about PhDs to get that money in those sports, but you do need a law degree to become an attorney and to represent some of these athletes. And those attorneys, their shelf life is what 20 years more than athletes, so you'll be getting paid longer than an athlete does.
Oh yeah, 30 40 years longer.
Absolutely. Right. So like you said, if we made these positions more fashionable, and if they have more insight into these particular careers, like we do, we tell students all the time, like, if you want to hoop, okay, so you want to hoop, but what about being a medical physician for a team?
Which circles back to your earlier point that a lot of people in our community are focused on being the most athletic, being the one who scores the points, but it's the collaboration of the team doctor, the trainer, the coach. It's the person. So I played collegiate sports. I played Division I basketball. We had to have academic meetings, and there were so many different aspects to our tenure as players that wasn't necessarily academic. Right. And that is when you said sometimes in other communities they are really focused on the collaboration. That's what the real world collaboration looks like when you are the CFO of the team, when you are someone who's working in the back office but is essential to the lifeblood of that organization.
Absolutely. Right. And again, those careers needs to be highlighted more. But just like everything else in popular culture, I mean, we behind. The children see more of Steph Curry than they see of me. You know what I'm saying? They're like, yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I hear you about Marcus, but I want to shoot the three like dude. You know what I'm saying? So, we have to be very scientific, on how we represent ourselves and how we must make being African cool. It gotta be cool. Like, they look, I got 13, 14-year-olds coming in the building like, man, them dudes with them dashikis, they corny. Because that's what they say on the block. So we gotta be real clear. We go to 63rd and St. Lawrence right now and Shorty's posted up. So how are we gonna go over there with it? What are we doing?
I think some of them corny too.
That's what no question. No question.
And you know what? To the point, because I don't see you wear dashikis much, right? Yeah. But when we speak to the children, how do we make it cool and still be our authentic selves? I think that's what a lot of people are missing, because I see a lot of costume and dressing up. Yes. Dudes got on capes and all kind of funny hats and koofies and
dudes is wilding now.
Like dudes looking like straight out of a 14-year-old's drawing. They have comic book characters or something. Yeah. Like, how do we get it back to being cool? Because when you come out with the dashikis and you try to talk some sense, you look like one of them dusty hoteps. Right. That's out here panhandling. Yeah. The pimps are panhandling.
I think it's like this, Chad. I think the people that have a sense of style gotta wear them.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean? That's in our community. I feel you. But somebody that has the backing of, like, they represent this truly. Yeah. But still have a sense of style.
So right, I agree with that. So
you know what I'm saying? Because when you come around the younger dudes, like, just being honest, because I used to go in the facilities and talk to the younger dudes, because me coming from
where you come
from,
their
lifestyle.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I could talk to them, and and when they see me, and I have a clothing line that got an African name, it got the definition on it and everything, because my clothing line is Balogun.
Balogun, okay, yeah.
So when I come there, and they like, yo, what's that, OG? Blah, 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 blah. But how I'm presenting it, they like, nah, OG, you fly, of course. Right.
Yeah.
Because everything that y'all look up to, we brought it into y'all arena.
Yeah.
Everything y'all try to follow, everybody tries to follow stuff from our era.
Yeah.
from the late 80s, early 90s. Right. Everything is now, all the youngsters is off of that. So when I'm pushing our style and our movement, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just doing it in an African-centered way. They got no, just like, and then when they read it, they like, oh, that's fire, that's fire. Blah, 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 blah. That's how you gotta present it to them. You gotta, it gotta be somebody that has some flavor, right? When you got this dude like with the like not the
Fozzie Bear
ass on dude. When you got Fozzie Bear with the big wooden beads and he looking dusty, nobody is like intrigued with that.
Well, I agree. I agree with that point. I'll just add on. To this. One of the most effective brothers that I know in the community is Chairman Fred Jr. You know what I'm saying? That's my man. So I'm with him all over the South Chicago, and I see how people respond to how he articulates what's going on in our communities, right? So the Minister Huey P, he makes a very important statement, and I use it all the time. So when we go to communities, he says power is the ability to define phenomenon and make it act in a desired manner. So what that means is whatever the phenomenon is right now, we use it and make it act the way we want it to act to benefit us, right? So whatever the case may be, in the 80s, it was different. We navigated through the communities differently, rapping the shorties, right? Now we got a new phenomenon, right? And what's that? Young brothers is wearing different stuff, different clothes. So in order for us to navigate through, we had to be similar, right? Because we have to catch the eye of them. Yes. So Brother Taz said, how do we remain authentic, right? You have to be who you are, because I'm telling you, these shorties can see right through you. Yes, so if you moving in a way that believed to be a way that you really not like that, and you were just like that, to coming in the community doing something, you really not like that, right? People be able to see through you, especially the shorties, man. They'll be able to see it. So how I move, just how people see me every day. I can go outside my house. I'm right on the south side of Chicago. I go outside. Hey, Baba Kline, what's happening? Man, come over here, man. We gonna rap, man. I see some trash. Woo, woo, woo. So they know me. They know me not by me talking off for an hour on the corner. Nah, man, what we doing? Something happened on my block. I'm going down there. I'm going to see what's up, right? So they know me. So that's organic. That's real, right? Pragmatic stuff. Not no lofty ideas and, man, we're going to do this. No, let's start in the hood. Let's start where we are. Let's start next door. Let's start where we are. Yes. You know what I mean? So people can see that. And that's just how I motivate and how I move, right? And everybody, they got different ways and means by which they want to do activities in the community, and those different ways work. There's a lot of brothers that's doing some good work out here. A lot of sisters, I know them. They're doing good work, and they have different ideologies, right? So what we have to do is we have to be, even myself included, we have to be more open, less rigid with our ideas. Coming up in the 90s, what was it? You a Christian? We about to smash you, right? So we have to be able to say, okay, dig, right? That's your thing. I don't rock with that, but we need a new park right here on the corner. Some cats. Right. Some cats. There's cats on the block right now. We got to get them out of there. They selling crack or drugs. We need to move, right? Am I going to ask this brother who's ready what church he go to? Right. No. I'm going to ask him, man, what time you going to be ready to go down here and handle this business, right? So I think now, man, not now, but it's always been like that, and the party talked about that a lot. And when the party did it, it was a dividing line between, some party members that wanted to get out, with them cops. And Huey then was like, man, we spend a lot of money on legal fees. We need to start moving over to these programs. But it was some cats who were like, it was like, man, y'all ain't thorough enough for us. Y'all are soft. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We trying to do so. It's always been a politic happening in our communities with, you know, people that wanted to do they still wanted to do positive things, but they had different ideologies. You know,
the Warriors.
Shakur was one of them. Afeni Shakur was like, man, Huey P, he ain't qualified to run the party no more. You know, we're gonna get these white boys, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's always been that,
right?
But, you know, but the overarching idea was always we want to change where we are in our own community first, right? And that's one of the ideas of the school. Like, if we want to make a change, it has to happen with children. If it's not happening with children, no change is going to be made.
That's a fact.
None.
You know, and that you say that because I remember Malcolm talking about that in Message to the Grassroots, you know, as well as the Bullet of the Ballot. You know, he said, when it's time to come out here and do the work, I don't care about that's between you and your God. You know, you leave that in the closet, you come out here and do the work. Yeah. We see that in the conscious community. We don't share the same ideology. And it's crazy that it's so on point. Our brother Divine said that's why the Black American Renaissance is so powerful now. No more centering ideologies nor beliefs. Who's ready to do the work? I was going to ask you real quick. I know you've been seeing the Pan-African / FBA disagreement, I would say, because I understand both positions. And I understand there's an extremism on both positions. You know, I'm all about balance and getting the results. Pretty much what you do. What was your thoughts when you first heard FBA? And because I know you're African centered, just what's your thoughts? What's your thoughts when you first heard it? And what do you see about it now?
I don't even know what that is.
Foundational Black Americans.
I don't know enough about it to respond to it. I got another instructor, man. He kind of fills me in on stuff like that. I don't really be following on the social media, you know, like that.
Right,
much,
right.
But
I know
Tariq isn't Tariq ahead of that, right?
No, not really.
No.
You know what? No, because you're right in your position because that's the popular language right now.
Oh,
and that's why we had Kaba Kamene a couple of weeks. Shout out to Baba Kaba. We had him a couple of weeks come through. Yeah, of course. Like we love Baba Kaba over here. You know what I'm saying? We love everybody who's doing the work, even because I know you see sometimes in leadership, everybody don't even get along. Doing this work as long as you've done.
Yeah.
You see sometimes leadership are not in agreement. But what it is about FBA is foundational Black Americans, the Black people who are here during our enslavement and before our enslavement that literally built the country. Because for political reasons, you have people who are coming from the Caribbean and the continent. And by all definitions, they are now Black Americans.
Right. But
they're not moving in the interest of the Black Americans who have already been here. So we're delineating and sharing what the word delineate means. Is that we're now defining ourselves as a broad term of just being an African American. We're saying, no, if you can be from Jamaica, you could be from Haiti, you could be from Botswana, wherever you are. I'm a foundational Black American. I'm a Black American who's been here for centuries. This is not to negate our ancestry or how we got here, because there's been a lot of disrespect, Brother Marcus. And we want to thank Fat Joe, Busta Rhymes, Kamala Harris, and Barack Obama. You know, all who say Black people, Black Americans have no culture. This is a real thing, bro. And that's why it's crazy.
I'm with you.
So we're just asserting ourselves, saying no more can you come into our house and disrespect us. And that's what the new Renaissance is right now. And Baba Kaba was in agreement with us. You know, I didn't know where he stood, but I do respect his intellect and his research. And what he did was educate us on the 5 migrations from Africa to here.
That's right.
And, you know, slavery was a forced one. But he talked, you know, because I cite Van Sertima and Dr. Clark's, they came before Columbus, you know, based on the works of Bartolome de las Casas and things like that. You know, you got Pablo Vasco Nunez and all these early explorers that talk about coming here and seeing Black people in America, prior to the Mayafa, you know. And as we know, I like to tell people, particularly our conscious brothers, get out that white man paradigm saying that our history started here with slavery. Even though our scholars told you that there were black people here prior to slavery. So whether we came during our enslavement or before our enslavement, we know it was our labor, our ingenuity, our know-how that literally built this country. So when we say foundational black Americans, we talk about those who were enslaved, those who weren't. We got to remember Benjamin Banneker designed Washington, D.C. You know, though they may talk about Pierre Lafont and the other dude, I forget his name is, but I don't want to go off in that tangent, but that's what the FBA movement is about. Just educating people who are Johnny-come-latelys, like a Kamala Harris, like a Barack Obama, like a Fat Joe and a Busta Rhymes, who gets paid off of our culture, gets the support of our people, but then when they get in position of power, they ignore our demands and requests and be like, nah, I'm good. I'm good on y'all. Don't ask me for nothing.
Well, what I can say is, no matter where they from, our shorties can't read. So
how about
they
that?
Can't read.
Right.
They can't read. They're doing math. So in the door, what my attention is focused on in the door. We're last in reading, math, science.
That's
so
it.
When they come in the door, I have a system that I guarantee parents. It's a guarantee. I will have your child reading at XYZ level in a certain amount of months and weeks, right? So whether the shorties believe in Banneker or whether they believe in Alfred Hitchcock, it doesn't matter to me. Right? My main objective is that's right now, because and the reason why I said I'm not negating the system that you just laid out, but me personally, I have to have blinders on sometime, brother. Like on the real.
To hit the mark. Yes.
I have to read 2-3 books a week. I have to. Like, I have students from nursery school all the way up to high school. So that it entails a lot. So if I'm behind on certain things, I have to figure out what would I rather. You know what I'm saying? So, right now I've been digging into these books, man, trying to continue to develop my curriculum. Hey, that's my girl.
I was about to say, you talking about reading.
That's my
I'll be
girl
learning
right
from
there.
the babies now. I want to show this 42-second clip to the people to drive home your point about the reading. Family, bear with us 1 second.
Say she want to do these chemicals, huh? You want to do these compounds?
Yes,
you ready?
That's what I'm into.
Come on in, loud and proud. What's that?
I'm into Marcus.
Ammonium chloride.
Huh?
Magnesium acetate.
Well, speak up now.
Aluminum oxide.
Good.
Sodium cyanide. Calcium chloride.
Good.
Aluminum carbonate. Sodium phosphate.
Good.
Magnesium hydroxide.
Good.
Yes, little mama.
Sulfide.
Good.
Sodium bromide.
Good job. Smart girl. Excellent.
Oh,
Yes.
man. And
Right,
that's
so
what you're talking about, right?
Let me add this too, because I know some parents may have some issues. Well, I should say they have some questions. So when students come in, our school is assessment based. So when they come in, we have to give them an assessment because we don't have regular grades in singulars like that. So grades 1 and 2 are together. So we call that our Molly group. So grades 3 and 4 are together. We call that our Panther group. And grades 5 and 6, that's our Khan group. 7th and 8th, that's our Sankofa group. And grades 9 through 12, that's our Safo group. Those students are ready to graduate. So what happens is that our high school is only 2 years. All our graduates have left at 16. That's the objective. They start SATs in the 5th grade. They start studying for SATs in the 5th. So by the 7th and 8th, they're ready to take the test. So I think we had 2 students with 1350s at 15, and they moved on, right? So matter of fact, we had a Micah who's he just turned 16. Yeah, he just turned 16. He had 1350 on the SATs. So I don't place a lot of emphasis on those tests, we do it because parents want it. Like if parents didn't want it, I wouldn't do it because it's really no need for it. We know they're racially biased anyway, but we do need those tests in order to identify the students' needs, right? As it relates to reading, math, and science. Yes. Because when they go to larger institutions, those institutions are requiring those tests, but there's University of Chicago who's not requiring now. So there's a lot of colleges that won't be requiring SATs and ACTs because, of course, they're moving the goalposts again. We have we have our children like getting perfect scores. So we got.
That's why you don't need degrees to have jobs now, and all that type of foolishness.
Goalpost is moving. Goalpost is moving again. So and I'm glad you brought that up, sis, because now we have to be even more scientific on how and what we're teaching the children, what fields to go into when they do graduate from me, right? The fields are now, they must be different. So those same retail spots, they're going to be gone. And a lot of them are leaving quicker than you can blink your eye. So what is that telling us? We have to be, once again, independent. We have to learn how to create our own jobs, right? Wow, that's a scary thought, right? Like, man, getting away from the European dialectic, like getting up out of there, being your own boss, right? But we still need to have, some level of knowledge. You can't just say, man, Bob Marcus, I don't want to graduate now. Man, I want to go right into open my own business. Okay, who's going to do your bookkeeping? Okay, can you balance?
Now you will make sure that they're on point and they're doing you right. You got to know something about it.
That's right. So can you balance a spreadsheet? Nah. Okay, cool. You need to come on back to school then, because those things we got to get you prepared for, and we talk a lot about in school with us, we talk a lot about trades, right? But everybody can't do a trade. We got to have intellectuals though. Yes. We got to have cats. I mean, because we talking about nation building, right?
Right.
So we're getting out of that though. So the nation building part, so who's going to design our roads? Who's going to be our chemical engineers? Who's going to be our attorneys? So we got to have those things in place as well, right? So we can't just focus on that. So we got to have a 3-prong. We operate a 3-prong. We got entrepreneurship, we got trades, and we also have going right to universities, right? And we have to be able to have more of a complete outlook on education. You know what I'm saying? Going over to the continent. What kind of ideas you got? Right. We got an area in Tanzania, not too far from the ocean, that they don't have drinking water. So what kind of ideas can you bring to the table to go over there and help the brothers and sisters in Tanzania, right? So
those projects and
absolutely
those sorts of things.
Yeah. So it entails a lot, but oftentimes when I say we, I mean me, I have to think linear. Because there are some things that needs to be addressed immediately when there's a broader view as well, right? It's a broader view. We can touch on 1,000 different things, but I have to be very linear sometimes, right? Because it's a lot going on, and it's a lot the school entails. And
it's something I wanted to ask you, because I know the answer, but for the audience, I don't assume anybody knows anything, right?
Yeah.
You say the scientific approach, and you are linear, which is commendable. You're not a jack of all trades trying to do everything at once by yourself. Yeah. Shout out to Fozzie Bear, right? Your scientific approach. I remember, and I don't know if you still do it this way, because this was 10 years ago when we were at your presentation, but I still have the notes, still have all of them, on how you educate the children and get them to retain the information, being that children are so active. Would you share with the audience that scientific approach?
Repetition, duration, and frequency. Same thing, because it holds true. It holds true with adults. It holds true with children. So repetitious, right? So here's the argument with freedom, because it's always an argument. Well, Marcus, all they doing in there is memorizing, right? So okay, all right, cool. When you ride a bike, how do you learn to ride?
Talk to him, brother.
Simple question. How do you learn how to ride, brother? Well, I can see someone riding and I can get on and do the same thing. Nope. That's an observatory approach. That's not how people learn. Try it again. Oh, I can put the pedal, push the pedal forward. That causes the other pedal to turn, and I keep balance, and I'm riding a bike. Okay, cool. What did you memorize? Oh, I memorized the creation of the motion from my feet. Everything that we do is based on memorization. Now, when you start talking about advanced levels of knowledge, then you start getting into creativity, how to bring those things together. Boom, boom. It's all a pyramid. You've seen a pyramid in school, right? But first, you have to be able to memorize what to do. So when a 6-year-old is learning words, we teach them phonics, the phonemes, the CLs, STs, right? All those 125 different phonetic rules we have to teach them. He memorizes the sound because guess what? Some of the words don't match the sounds. That's in the English language. You can't sound out the. That's why they call them sight words. So whenever a cat tells me, saying when we teaching the 7-year-olds polynomials and dividing a polynomial, right? I teach them I teach my son who's 8, be meticulous.
Yes.
Be meticulous.
Yes.
Now, Marcus, why you always on me when I make this small mistake? Be meticulous.
That's right.
We don't have the time to make small mistakes. So I teach them to memorize the process. What's the process? Okay, there's no coefficient in front of that polynomial. So what does that mean? One or two things. We break it. So I don't get bogged down with cats. If you play football and it's a dude that never played football and he's telling you, man, do this and that, do you listen to them?
Nah.
So when people come to me all the time and they've never taught anyone, a mother, grandfather, a dog, a child, and they come telling me, man, you should do this and that. What? Stop.
Especially the ones who never did it successfully.
Stop it.
You have so many educators, so many so-called educators out here, and I'm not casting aspersions on anyone specific, but they will decry your methodology for memorization, and doing things in an organized, systematic way. Yeah. But they've never had any database success with their kids. Their students. They can't point to any success.
But you want to, right? So therein lies a third issue, Brother Tad and Sister Micah and C Gutter. The last and final issue with operating an African-centered school is a black man runs it. Ooh, baby! Now you talking about a psychological dynamic that's happening. No one talks about that piece because only brothers who operate schools can talk about it, right? There's a problem with giving money to a black man every month for tuition. That's an issue. That's a serious issue. And I don't know if you had my brother from XIX.
Zayx, our brother Q Butter. Butter. Me and Gutter went to see this school. We pulled up on him.
He can speak to the same thing because we talk all the time. Right. And like black women paying me tuition, problem. Black men that have a problem with their sons coming home saying the same things that Baba Marcus is saying, problem.
What?
Problem. I just talked to my director 20 minutes before I got on the show. Her name is Mary Roberson Watson. She is those two students that you had on the video.
Yes.
She get them first. She get them before me. So she
Okay.
directs the preschool. So sometimes I get the credit for teaching them how to read. By the time they get to me, that's all her though. I just
now, how old are those children again? Just so the audience.
The girl, at that time, the girl was 5.
Mm.
She's 7 now. She's with me now, but she was with her then. And the little brother with the cornrows, his name is Island. He's 7 now. He was 5 then. Right. So those things, can be
The little girl. I'm sorry, the little girl who was reading the compounds.
Yeah, her name.
She was 5 when she was reading.
She was 5 when she was reading. She's 7 now. I just I did a new video on her maybe like 2 or 3 months ago where she's like
writing dissertations.
And I think too. I think too. Dr. Amos Wilson. I didn't have his book.
Yes.
But both his books. Both his books.
Which one? Awakening the Natural Genius and Developmental Psychology. Yeah.
Yes. Both. I don't have. I give them away, so I didn't have them upstairs in my library. But those books are also foundational. And he talks about sometimes students. There are some children who they're operating different. They just operate different. I get them. That little girl, she operates different. She's different, like for real. At 3 and 4, she was like, she just operates different. And then when they get to school, when the public school systems, they don't know what to do with students like that.
Right.
They don't know what to do with students like that, right? But the government does. Well, Operation Minaret, the CIA, they come into schools and pluck those exceptional Black children out of them schools, and they put them in the CIA program. That was Operation Minaret. Your man was a part of that. Wayne Williams supposedly killed the Atlanta child murderers. He was in Operation Minaret. He was plucked by the CIA too. But those students who are exceptional, the United States, they pick them up.
I have to say, Marcus, I was from about a month ago, I would have said I was today years old when I learned about the gifted programs and how, because I was one of those students and I had no idea at that time until literally about a month ago that was an operation in coming in and placing those students in G&T programs, and they were like looking for Neo, looking for the one, so to speak. I had no idea about that.
So let me add to that. Let me put my Frontline magazine hat on, right? So I got to take it off. I take it off a lot. I don't even be wearing it no more because it scares parents. So I don't even be talking. A lot of parents that come to school, they know nothing about what I did before the school, and that's cool. That's cool. I don't have quote unquote conscious parents. I think I got maybe 4 or 5. I don't really want conscious parents in the building. And that can be for a different. That could be for a different show, but conscious parents they're problematic for me.
Yes.
Because they know everything, but they don't know shit. You know what I'm saying? So
they talked about that 10 years ago back in Brooklyn.
Yes, you did.
Remember that?
We did.
I remember. Yes, you did.
You did.
And let me tell you, we didn't walk away empty-handed, bro.
No, we did not.
We still talk about that conversation.
Brother, listen to me.
Respect to what you were saying.
I say that all the time. That
brother,
conscious community be a bunch of smart dumb niggas.
Oh my God.
Language.
Oh my God. Off the air, I can tell you some things, brother. You would not believe. I'm sometimes looking at these parents across the desk from me like, you really believe that? Right. You're teaching the chill. But anyway, man, I'm telling you about it. It's crazy. But when we look at the inner city, and what was you talking about, sis Micah? Sister Micah, what was you saying?
We were saying about the because you had started talking about the conscious parents and, how they, when the students are coming.
They smart, but they dumb.
Right. And you said, get off of that. Go back to the original thing. What was that?
Oh gosh, we went so far away from it. I was trying to get back to it.
I know. That's my.
You were saying in the last part, and you were going to put on your hat from your journalism.
Oh, right, exactly. I was just going to touch on oh man, what was that? I'm 50. I just turned 56, so I'm sorry.
It's a blessing.
I'm not my memory isn't what it used to be. But I forgot. But nevertheless, I think that when we are in a position that people see, especially children, that could be your niece, your son, your daughter, whomever, we have to start reading more. So books have, that's the paper, the actual book, not reading on your phone, but just the book. We have to bring that back. We have to bring back let's sit down the tablet for an hour at the house. Let's sit the tablet down. Yes. And I want Jamal, I want you to read page 5 to me. But because it may seem minuscule to us, because
and
we're
draconian,
reading,
yeah.
But right, draconian is good. But there's a large, segment of us, that don't read. And they're coming in to the school not knowing that their children can't. Because back in the day, my mom used to be like, okay, read the menu, baby.
Yep. Read everything.
Well, shit,
I can't do it.
Well, the menu,
we had encyclopedias in our house.
Encyclopedia, that's right.
They can't do it. And what it does is it breeds contempt and frustration.
Yes.
And that's where they start acting out because they can't do something that they're expected to do.
Exactly.
And the parents can't assist them either.
Because a lot of them can't read either. But look, Brother Tad, though, check this out.
That's why I understood the point you was making when you were saying some people don't need to have kids.
Yeah.
That's a very unpopular opinion. So see gutter. If
you dumb, your kid's gonna be dumber.
Well, I would
I don't mean to be disrespectful, but that's what it is. Like if you dumb, your kid's gonna be dumber. Because they can't come and ask you, Mom, Dad, what's this? So now they're gonna be like most kids are. If they parents don't know, they ain't gotta know.
Right. But what you gonna say, Brother Marcus?
No, I was gonna
unless you got that drive to be,
I was gonna
like
tell
you said, which the anomalies are those people that got the drive to go first.
It's an unpopular opinion, but yeah.
Very unpopular.
But it's real.
Right. Because what happens when we say that, it lends to the eugenics of the early 20th century when they say black people aren't supposed to have children anyway. So I really don't say that because of the sentiment that entails. But I see evidence of that on a daily basis, unfortunately. I ain't talking about the teenagers, 19, 20. I'm talking about some of the 32, 33. You know what I mean? Because and then too, there's another issue that's not often discussed, and that is the strive for excellence. Like we're really not, the mediocrity is kind of like commonplace, with us. Okay, Bob Myers, well, he got a C, but at least he passed. You know what I mean? Well, if he got a C at your school, that's an A in the public school, so we cool. You know what I'm saying? Like being excellent, it ain't the move, except it's for sports.
Right.
If it's for sports, man, we passing the trophies out. And even with that, like when we were shorties, we didn't get trophy for second place.
Right.
Man, we go home with nothing. You lose, you get nothing. Now they're giving trophies for cats that's not
participating.
You get fifth place, you get a medal. You might not get the trophy, you get the medal.
You get a medal. You come home like, what you do?
I had this conversation recently about quote unquote equality.
Yeah.
How we use that in this day and age and how it's really senseless in the terms that we use equality and trying to make everybody equal
and rewarding people who aren't deserving. But what you're saying right now, I was going to ask you, opening an independent school for Black children, what has been the biggest challenge? I know the parents not knowing anything, but what has been your biggest challenge in the 20 years of opening and operating a school for Black children?
So-called conscious parents.
That's the biggest challenge.
Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example real quick. Let me bring it home. We operated a school in the second house we were in, right? We were on Dante, 8223 South Dante. So we had the whole house up and down, right? We had like 60 children in that boy, right? So it was a sister across the street, right? She was a teacher, conscious teacher at one of the
so-called African-centered schools.
So-called African-centered schools. The most popular one, I should add, right? Wave to me every morning. Baba Marcus, how you doing? Good to see you. Hey, good. Okay, cool. My next door neighbor where I lived in my house, he's a fire chief at the time. He said, Brother Kline, let me holler at you real quick. I'm lunchtime. I'm coming over there. Cool. I'll go over there. What's up? Man, we had like 16 calls about where you at over there. They've been calling the fire department. They even called the police saying you got children in the house.
Wow.
I say, man, you can't tell me who it was. You know me. Who was it, right? He was like, give me your phone number. I'm going to call you and give you a name. He the chief, right? This is my man to this day. So he calls me later. He was like, yeah, it's a sister that stay in 8221 across the street from me.
The one that holler at you every day.
Call the people on us, right? So fortunately, I give you the quick version. So fortunately, they was coming to shut me down. Now dig this. I come to school, my wife say, man, why don't you stay there for lunch instead of coming home for lunch? Because I had to do something. So I went back early. And when I'm walking up to the house, it's this tall gentleman. He's standing there. He like, yeah. I'm thinking he with the people, right? I'm like, yeah, what you need, man? He was like, man, you know, I'm a pastor at church down the street, man. I've been hearing a lot about what you're doing, man. Can you come sit with me for a minute? And it was something that told me, usually I don't do that. So I said, yeah, come on. We walked down to school. We walked down to his church, walked me in the basement, like 15, 20 minutes, walked around. I'm thinking like, man, what this brother want me to do, whatever, right? He was like, look, I want to put you to school in this basement, right? I want you to occupy the first floor and the basement, right? They had a gym too. So I was like, yeah. I wanted to say, man, you know, the people about to come shut me down. So I said, okay, let me call my wife, man. Let me see. Think she can come down too and visit? He's like, yeah. Hit my wife up. She was like, bet. Let's go down there and see what it is, right? So long story short, he talked to the board. The board let us in, right? That was a Wednesday. We started moving our stuff Friday. I tell all the parents, I was like, look, we moving the stuff during lunchtime on Friday, blah, blah, blah. If y'all want to come through, aid and assist, come with it. So we got some parents moving the stuff. It was like maybe a half a block right on the corner, right? Boom, boom. Wow. When we're moving our stuff out, guess who show up? The state come and like, yo, you ain't supposed to be whoop, whoop, whoop. Boom, fire department, whoop. I'm like, man, we leaving. Right. On the way out.
Oh, word.
So I tell people that story because when they look at what we do, I have quite a few parents who actually thought they can do what we do. And they left and said, man, you know, I got word from Brother Kline to open the school up. They're lying, right? I got 2 schools right now. They got the same program as us. This lady talking about she used to be my director. I never met this lady before in my life. But these things are happening. And what it shows is we just doing the work. Right. We doing the work. We ain't out here fronting, talking about, yeah, you know, we making big money. Nah, that ain't my style.
No
That's my
$500
style.
dates for the
We
sisters.
shoot, huh?
No $500 dates for the sisters.
Oh my God.
No reality shows for the sisters.
No, but I,
Suckle.
But
I
it's
think
divine intervention, as we talked about before. It seems
we
like
gotta
you had a
have that.
lot of that.
Absolutely. I'm talking about sis. You don't even know.
And then what's even more crazier in that story is the people that you wouldn't expect to aid and assist, and that you would expect to be the haters.
Yeah,
it's the opposite.
that's right. That's
You know
right.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you would expect the pastor, the Christians, he's not seeing
That's
that.
what we were saying.
What he's
That's what we were
seeing
saying
is
earlier.
these black brothers is making progress
Right.
and doing whatever he's doing for the kids. So
Right.
I'm gonna aid in the system because he's doing something for the community.
And
they
we go
look at
beyond
him
that.
like competition.
That's right. So
You know
see gutter. We'll go beyond that. And we'll say not the $5 date. We'll go beyond that and say this, right? All the people that say they want independent schools and don't support them, right? That pastor, look how ironic this is. That pastor had 2 daughters, right? And a wife. He had his 2 daughters in the school. His 2 daughters, they moved to Boston, right? His 2 daughters wind up going to Howard with my son, right?
Wow.
And they graduated on the same day. I got a picture with them. I have 5 students at Howard's graduation. All of them went to Freedom together.
Wow. I've seen that picture too. You got so much I want to share with the community. Family, please follow Marcus Kline on Facebook. On all social media platforms, please follow him. I mean, we not even scratching the surface with the videos that y'all have seen, because I remember that picture too.
Yep, my son. But see, the thing is, when we're building these independent schools and even these independent networks, because the independent network is just as good. What I am not satisfied with personally is the unpreparedness. I was just, using the term mildly, the unpreparedness of, some of the developers, because I'm seeing a lot of these different schools and these different independent networks that's popping up, and they're not. They're doing it, for their own reasons. They have the right to actually do it, but the product isn't satisfactory. No, subpar is an understatement. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know of 2 right now that's like, I mean, I got one of my ex instructors,
Like, I couldn't get the full effect of that because it glitched a little bit.
well, one of my ex, and the people that's listening that know me, they know who it is. I mean, I don't care, if they listen or not. But if you have children, right, and you can't teach them, how in the hell are you going to open up a school with giving parents the notion that you could teach their children? Like, it's mind-boggling to me, and how people can move on a personal. They can move on a personal level when it comes to their children. Like, ain't no such thing as moving on a personal level when it comes to my seeds. Like,
right.
It's the education of my seeds is paramount. That's my legacy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to hand them off to somebody that I'm cool with. Like, just because we cool, like, you gonna, well,
can't teach them nothing.
Well, I mean,
Listen,
the same results are going to happen.
Listen, I took my son back from, finding I wish we had more time. Finding a school, a good school, not just an acceptable one, but a good school, is very difficult for a lot of Black parents. So I'm in New Jersey currently, but it seems like kind of like wherever you are, finding a school like yours. I'm not going to say anything about Brother Ted. Just pump your brakes now.
Well, I ain't saying nothing.
Don't say nothing. It's very difficult to find a school that will teach culture as well as academics. Right. And work to be excellent at it. Yeah. I even had to take my son out of the public system. I thought for sure he could make it to 3rd grade. We didn't make it past 1st grade. We didn't make it past October in the 1st grade. But I ended up sending him to a Christian school because it was small and I could, it was controllable for me. It was like, I can try to still do my thing. But I had to even take my son from there and homeschool my son, right? I ended up taking him back to my dining room table. And I did that up through middle school. Yeah. Because the difference between what you do, which I celebrate wholeheartedly, I always have, even though we haven't, been in touch, and what even the public system, parochial, private, even what they are offering. Because when you go private, you are escaping the public system and maybe the violence and some of the, waywardness organizationally, but you give up culture, right? Because a lot of these are PWIs and you are giving up culture in exchange for what you consider to be high academic substance, right? So it's kind of like never, just smooth sailing. You are giving something up to get something. I agree. And a lot of times neither of those are satisfying and fulfilling, which makes the work that you do just, amazing.
I think too, for those parents who are listening that are having the same issues with schools that they're enrolled in, those books again becomes essential, because you have to set something up in your home that supplements, that Christian ideology, and you must know what those supplements are before you can reteach. So when they come home, you got a weekend with them, instead of television and cartoons for the first 2 hours in the morning, you need to get your material out. Right.
And there's an effort required, and I don't want to scare anybody away, but there is a lot of effort required, because some of those reads, they are not, it's not the newspaper. It is definitely didactic. You need to have your dictionary sometimes, right there next, beside it, and writing and, taking notes so that you'll be able to pass that on to the young people.
No question. And as a matter of fact, everything in your house should be didactic. Everything in your house should be used as some form of, education. Everything. Yes. Newspaper, the labels on, the size of snacks, right? Yes. So when parents ask me, what can they do? When I opened up the show, I said, lesson plan and curriculum development is paramount. Yes. I ain't talking about the school. I'm talking about in your house.
At your table.
From 7 a.m. to 9. Weekday or weekend. You give me 2 hours. These are workout time. Shorty sleep until 9 on Saturdays. Wake him up at 7. But the parents don't want to wake them up, because that means they got to get up.
And they got to get active. That's right.
So I just sent the brother a math curriculum. I just sent it to him today. 6-year-old. How'd I find out where he at? No problem. I'll give you an assessment. He's 6. 60 years old. He needs to know his timetables. Off bat. Well, he don't know him. Okay. Well, when you taking him to basketball practice,
in the car,
while he in the back seat, instead of getting on his iPad, drill them tables on it.
That's it.
Drill the tables.
You
give yourself a timeline. So today is tomorrow is the 1st. So by the 15th, he should know the 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s.
That's it.
You're gonna do 15 minutes every day. I guarantee you, shorty gonna know him by the 15th.
That's it.
Oh,
Then what you doing? Okay, you check that off. Now you're going to
I'm on my grandson now.
You have to be more involved.
You have to be.
Process.
If you in the car, Brother Kline, if you in the car, your kids can be making words out of license plates and sentences out of license plates. There's so many different ways. You don't have to be a teacher.
Look, that's how I taught my son. That's how I taught my youngest son how to add license plates.
Wow.
9523. Okay, 9 plus 5. 14,
I love that.
Plus 2.
I love that.
Yeah. So now he's 8. So now sometimes he be in the back like, Abu, that's 37. That's 45.
Every parent goes to the supermarket.
Yeah.
Add that up.
Yeah.
How much tax?
Yep.
We're
You gotta be
learning.
involved.
Experiential learning.
You can't keep blaming the system. Oh man, the school's whack. Ooh. Yeah, okay.
Right.
It starts at home anyway.
Huh?
Education starts at home anyway.
It's always been that way.
That's why, like you said, the unpopular opinion, is like if the parents are not educated, you crippling the children because you're gonna send them to the system that don't care nothing about them.
It's gonna miseducate.
If they're an African kid, the system don't care nothing about them. They want to miseducate them anyway. You know what I'm saying? White people is different. They just want them to be workers. They want them to be dumb too, but they just want them to be workers. But for us, they want us to be totally ignorant.
Yeah.
So if you can't give your kids any information in the home before they go into any of them places, then you kind of push them back 10, 15, 20 years.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's a good point. Like when you say that, and I don't like you said, Iwa, Asafo, all of those books. Baba Baruti, in a way, says that.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, yeah. Without question.
Not specific is like, but in a way, like we got to be conscious of how we reproduce.
Right.
And who reproduces with who. That's right.
Yeah. We have not only conscious of it, we have to be deliberate.
Right.
We have to be deliberate. And I told my oldest, we talked about this last week. Man, when you start dating for real, you need to start dating one of the students, man, that graduated with you or you was in school with. You know what I'm saying? Because at least A, I know they parents, and B, 9 times out of 10, they're going to be aligned with what I'm aligned with, which would give me a more comfortable feeling with the girl that you with. You know what I'm saying? Because
the grandchildren are going to be like,
oh man, brother, it's rough out here.
Trust me. Telling me.
It's a lot of questions you got to ask nowadays. You got to,
Like,
how
many mommies
you got to find out if they like the same gender.
That's what I'm saying. Absolutely.
No.
Huh?
See, you got to find out what actual real life gender they actually are.
Right.
You got to start there.
Yeah. You going? Yeah, that's a fact. That's true.
Speaking of genders,
it's ill.
Brother Marcus, I see you work because we showed the children. Now I want to go to the bigger boys now. The big boys that you worked with.
So you see the guy, okay, you see the one with the red.
No. The one right back.
Him.
Yeah, the red long sleeves.
That's the one that got the 1350 on the SAT.
Numerous attempts
and
of getting this young brother on track. We want to document and let the records reflect. Not only did he score high on his vocabulary test today, but he also scored one of the highest in the class in African history. Give Mr. Martez a hand.
Okay, pause right there. Pause it for a minute. Yes. Pause it. Okay, so we were talking earlier.
Yes.
This is a great example. I'm glad you brought that particular film up. His mom had to pull him. That's Martez. So Martez was at a school, and I had to visit the school. His mother was like, "Look, they abusing my son up here." So I'm thinking it's physical. They got the little brother, his desk is turned the other way in the classroom, right? So she said, I know the principal. Do you mind going up there and talking to one of the instructors? I was like, I really don't want to do that because if I got to put hands on the teacher, I ain't really want to do that. You know? So she was like, go up there. So anyway, we go up there, white instructor, right?
Of course.
She's like, shorty, he basically he's stupid. He told the mama he's stupid. He don't know how to read, the whole shebang, right? So I'm listening. I know what the deal is. He don't go to no more. He with me. So I didn't really talk to this dude. So we bounce, right? So I have an idea already that he has a very low self-esteem because he's been belligerent, boom, 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 by this instructor, right? So he come in the building, head down, shake my hand, he head down, right? So I'm looking at him like, yeah, I'm about to build this little brother. And at this time, my son's at the school. So I'm like, look, I need you to aid and assist, right? So I point the leaders out in the classroom. One of them was the little guy I told you about, and the other one was the light-skinned guy with the big hot top, right? Last name McCann. I said, they're my leaders in the school. I had a meeting with them. I said, man, that's what we're gonna do. Every time when this little brother score good on the test, man, we're gonna clap it up for him, right? Tell this brother, man, y'all in lunch with him, tell him like, man, that was good. We had to like lay it on to him, right? So cool. This video was the first test that he took that he did well on. So I say, man, operation in effect. So they like, bet, we got it. So they've been telling him all week, man, you did good, man. That's good, man. What you gonna be when you grow up? That type of thing, right? Mm-hmm. So now his shirt bigger because his chest out. So his shirt bigger now. So he's like, yeah, okay, cool. So I bring him up to the front, and that video you seen, man, he was a totally different little brother, but his mom had to pull him out. And I need to check on him too, see how he doing though. See him smiling.
Yeah.
It wasn't even he was a totally different dude 3 weeks prior to that, Jack. But the whole, and the little brother behind him, both of them, they giving him dap, they loving him up, right? So we had to figure out every day. I gotta figure out when they come in, they already been beaten down. They've been demoralized by them cats at them other institutions, right?
Marginalized, yeah.
Yes, saying this is what you're gonna be, man. You want to be a lawyer? The same thing Malcolm said when he was in school. You know what I'm saying? And that's being done today. He's a prime example, right? I need to check on him now because he's no longer in the building. But we have to be, again, scientific on how we deal with our boys. Mm-hmm. Girls too, but since I got mostly boys, 85% boys in the school, we gotta be scientific on how we build them, right? I'm hard on them though. Like I'm extremely hard on them. I drive on them like constantly.
Tough love, yeah.
Constantly. The little brother in the back, you can't see him, but he's to the left of the brother with the Blackhawk sweater on. His name is Nas. Nas graduating this year, right? Miles told me off the top, he was like, Bob Marcus, I hate you. Yeah. But that's cool. I said, all right. you finished that homework? See, my position is this, but now this is 4 years prior, right? This is a 4-year-old video. Now that's my man. He's working at the school on his break. He's about to graduate. He's 16.
Wow.
He's my man. See, the thing is, I tell the shorties at that age group, I don't care, man.
Right.
I don't need no friends. I'm 56 years old. I'm not cool. You're not my homie, right? I have a job to do. My son, when he left, he attests to this. He right downstairs. His first year at Howard. Quick story, but it's relevant. His first year, calls me on the phone. Abu, we just had a meeting. All the freshmen had a Zoom meeting with the dean, right? So the dean is asking us, what problems are you having in your first week? So these are students that are the better schools in Chicago. Walter Payton, Whitney Young, all those students, my son. Now, mind you, he's 16. He came out early, right? So he in there. So they finally asked him, yeah, Mr. Kline, you got any? He was like, most of the work that I had this week, I had in the 6th grade at my school. He's at Howard College, right? He says, Abu, I understand now. He could attest. I could bring him up and he tell you. He said, I understand. I drove on him every day. Only way I let up is when his mom passed. When his mom passed, I eased back a little bit, but driving.
That's it.
So when he took his SATs at 15, he got a 1290. He got accepted. I said 15, too young. Wait till next year. Next year he got better score, boom, boom. I'm not concerned with being homies. I don't get them catch gaps at the school. That ain't my style, man. Right. I'm walking the hallways, man. How your pants look? Your shirt's buttoned? Man, pull your pants up, man. Get yourself right. You got the homework? Your pencils ready for class? Watch the game. I ain't watch no game. I don't talk about sports with no students at the school. That ain't how I get down. Now I got instructors that do that. I don't have a problem with that, but that's not me. Right. I have a very definitive line.
What we was talking about earlier.
The line is very definitive with me, right? The shorties coming up, they either love or hate me. The girls, oh, Marcus, this and that. The boys, man, ooh. When he gets
and as they get older, they appreciate all that you give them.
They do, and they come back. I just posted a pic. I seen one of my students at the restaurant. He Papa Marcus. I ain't seen him in 7 years. Right. I just posted it. Man, the development you gave me for school, man.
Everything seems easy.
They always come back. They always come back.
Listen,
this one
didn't like me in school.
Because I was a student. The teachers I hated is the ones I respected the most.
Same here.
Because they push you. It's like, man, I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? It's like he made me really clamp down and do what I was supposed to do.
That's right. And they'll check you. They'll check you when you need to be checked. You know what I'm saying? Instead of people calling you all the time, like, oh yeah, you this and that. Yeah, you gonna make it. Nah, you have deficiencies, little brother.
Right. Oh, you can just bring your homework. You can just bring it next week. No, you ain't got it.
What?
You ain't got it.
Hey, look, I got a parent that was so mad at me one time. She probably listening to. She told me she was listening. Shorty come to school with no shoes on.
We have no flip flop. We have no Crocs.
Barefooted.
You talking about the kid or the mom?
I say, look, little brother named Verndale. Mama listen. I know she tuned in. Little brother named Verndale, smart as a whip, super sharp little brother, right? Father got killed, right? His father got shot and killed. His father, before he got shot and killed, told him, Mama, if anything happened to me, you make sure you take my son about Marcus school, right? That was my homie. I just see him all the time. He had a little dance group. He had a dance company in the hood, right? He's like, man, when I get custody of my son, I'm bringing him, right? He wanted to get shot and killed. So anyway, little dude named Verndale, super sharp, right? Come to school first day, no shoes on. So the mama say, Baba, I had to chase him out the house because he said he didn't want to come on first. I had to chase him out, and I ain't had time to get his shoes. Y'all got something for him? I said, yeah, I got something for him, right? So the little dude was walking around his shoes with the back out. You know how the back is out, and he's walking around right
on the heel of it. Yeah,
little dude is a beast. He's a monster. Right at the other school, they say, man, he failed all his classes, right? So I say, man, why you get all D's and F's? He was like, man, the teachers told me that I ain't from Africa, right? I was like, what was they saying? I'm intrigued now. I was like, what was they saying? They was like, man, he said about Marcus, they was telling me that I'm the N-word. They was calling me the N-word so much, I thought that was my name. Right?
No way.
I was like, yeah, okay, cool. I said, you know what we do here, right? He was like, yeah, I heard. He said, my father used to tell me about the school all the time. He's like, y'all pro-black, right? I was like, yeah, I'm about to give it to you too. And guess what he said? He said, I'm ready.
Wow.
I love
little dude. Look, the little dude so sharp. He 13 now, right?
Oh,
he's
wow.
sharp. He be, he's a different little guy though. He be having like eclectic socks on all the time, like the blue and red socks. He have his pants rolled up. So some of the teachers tell him, they like, look, you gotta do something about dude because the clothes that he be wearing. I was like, no, we gonna give him some latitude, So we gotta know sometime where to let stuff ride And sometimes we gotta be kind of flexible, right? Because I understand, I understand, like he lost his dad.
Creativity come out.
Right, because he need that, because he don't have his dad, right? So we gotta be real scientific. Them boys, I love them, man. I love them. I
was going to ask you too, because you said his father was deleted. Rest in peace to his pops.
Yeah.
But you as a father, who your sons have been so motivational in your approach to educate, like you said, your wife was the driving force to say, do the school. This is a multifaceted question I want to ask you. As a father, I think all fathers are leaders off the rip. I think many fathers just
even when they don't want to be one.
Right. They just have to develop the leadership skills.
Yeah.
So you being a father, how important was that molding your approach to dealing with other people's children as a leader, from, household leader to a community leader? And did Dr. Jawanza Kunjufu's book, Countering the Conspiracy to Destroy Black Boys and Developing Positive Self-Images in Black Children, did that have any impact on it? Was it minuscule? Was it big? Like,
it did. Well, I think the major contributor to my quote unquote leadership with my children specifically, I touched on that first, was my development coming up. My pops, my brother, my uncles, those men that I had a direct relationship with, they formed how I knew I was going to raise my children. And that formation, it definitely developed as I started reading and as I started becoming conscious. But to answer your question specifically, that core was through my parents. And again, if I didn't mention earlier, my parents were like drug addicts. Like my pops was a hustler. He did time in Leavenworth, sold drugs. My brother was a drug dealer. My uncles was sold drugs. So coming out of Detroit, that was the time when, cats who played ball and was good in books were protected. You know what I'm saying? They protected cats then, like that was me. So I looked up to those individuals. So when I left and went to school, even now, I never got high, never drank, that wasn't my thing, because I was surrounded, by addicts, So that one of those, I should say, that particular segment of my life formed my opinion on like drugs. So, and everything else that surrounded it. So, when my son was coming up, I specifically wanted to have him in the hood, so he can see, Black people can live together, some affluent, some middle class. I didn't want to move to the suburbs because that was a way in which my wife and I wanted to teach our son. That's what we own. I want you to be involved in what's going on the block. And we're not going to be able to do this with white folks, because I wanted him to be a leader as well, a leader amongst our people, right? So I wanted him to see, right? So my youngest son is different because my style, I'm older now, right? So I'm less lenient on him as I was with my older son. I'm acquiring patience, right? Which is something that I made a lot of mistakes with my older son, right?
As all of us do.
I made a lot of mistakes. I drove on him, and he tells me this. Like he a man now, so we have talks. And he was like, "Man,
talks, yeah,
man, Abu, I remember that time when I'd be like, yo, I don't even remember that shit." He was like, "Yeah, you spanked me because woo-doo-woo." I'm like, "Fuck, I feel bad." You know what I'm saying? He was like, "Don't." Because he real with me. Right. He was like, "Man, I learned from that." Right. So like when I say again, when his mom passed, I had to put on two hats. So I had to nurture him. I had to see if he was going to need some help with the loss. Right. So I had to. And again, I dropped the ball on numerous occasions, but one thing I knew that I was going to be steadfast was them books, academics. Like if I dropped the ball on like listening to them sometime at night or, whatever, I made sure the school was running because of him, period. Then when I had my other son, that's a little different. You met his mother. She she also has an educational background, but it's not like me. You know what I'm saying? Like people look at me like I'm on another planet, and that's cool. You know what I'm saying?
That's beautiful because we need
I ain't
that.
really understood like that, but I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. I would rather people not understand, you know, me, and just listen and take the applicable skills that I'm offering. Just take that, even if you don't understand me. Like, and that's why I'm so driven on showing what we're doing. We do a lot of videos to show because people need to actually see this can be done. You can do it. You can do it any child. Like there's no such thing as a special child to me. I think it's children who have different skills. Like they have, and that goes into epigenetics.
Yeah.
So when you study epigenetics, right? And I would start studying that 2 years ago. Epigenetics is like, you know, your ancestors did it. So so some of those codes have been inculcated inside of you, right? Grandfather could have been a blacksmith, right? During our Ma'afa. And you have a skill that you have, you know what I'm saying? And you're 3 generations down the road and you think like, damn, why am I so cold at this? Right? So epigenetics tells us those things, right? It's codes inside of us that gives us generational skills on the real. Like that epigenetics is heavy.
Now, I see it in my grandchildren.
Yeah.
See it in my grandchildren.
Yeah, that's heavy too. Dig this. I tell the story to my students when they come in on the first day. I tell them my grandmother, right? I used to sit next to my grandmother, and she was a hell of a cook though. She was super cold, right? So, you know, when she making them greens, she's stirring them greens up. I'm sitting we got a stool in our kitchen. So I used to sit next to her, we talking. So she'd put the spoon in the green and she'd give me some. Say, baby, taste that. I taste it. Like, yeah, grandma, that's good, right? And she tell me, that's pot liquor, right? Cool. So years down the road, I got my son, and he's sitting in the chair next to me, and I'm cooking. I give it to him, so it don't dawn on me till later on. You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? So now just imagine, right? Just imagine. We cold readers. We read all the time. I know y'all read, right?
Yes, we do.
So when we say we're gonna take this book and I'm gonna Xerox copy this page, right? And I'm gonna give it to him, who's 5, 6, 7. And we're gonna sit back. We can even be watching TV. And I hand it to him. I say, man, read that second paragraph. He don't know no words yet. He like, damn, he's struggling. So you take 2 of them words, you write them down on a dry erase board. And you break them 2 words down. He know them 2 words. Guess what? In 2 weeks, he can read the whole page, right? Yeah. So if we take on the perspective that repetition, duration, and frequency, we can change the wiring of children. We can change the wiring.
Absolutely.
Because now we're doing things over and over. You don't gotta be reading. It could be anything. Right. You can be a cold IT dude. You break a computer apart and you do 2 pieces every night. By the end of the 2 weeks, he know how to put a computer together. We have to start looking at our children as like, we can teach them anything, G. Yes. If you a cold mechanic, you got a car in the back, teach shorty how to put it together. We can do anything with them. It's just we've minimized their abilities because we don't know.
That's right. And as you were saying, and I've been saying this for years, literally a couple of decades now, there is something that we all do like our parents, the parents that we grew up with, and the
good and bad.
Right. So as you were telling your story about the collard greens, I was thinking, because I've told this, many times, that, it may be the way your mom stirred the pot, right? And she might have pulled out the spoon and tapped it 3 times or 4 or 5 times, right? Yeah. It's something that you do just like your parents.
That's right.
Now, you're not the only one, because it's something that she does like her parents, like her mom or dad, right? And so on and so forth. And so when you talk about that cellular envelope, right, whereby there are things that are implanted in that cellular envelope for generations, for millennia even, right?
That's right. Right.
And so we may say or do a certain thing a certain way. We may think a certain way or something like that, and we might not know why we do it or where it comes from. And sometimes it'll come out. I swear I speak another lange that I don't really know that I speak. I don't want to be too weird, because there's a lot of people on here, but there is a thing that I do, and it used to just be a weird thing, but now as I get older and older, I'm like, that comes from somewhere.
That's right. Where does it come from?
That comes from somewhere. Short story. So I was in Detroit. I was, in league with this guy who lived in Detroit. So I used to come out there from time to time, and he
in league. Let me write that one down.
Word, that's brand new.
Let me write that one down.
Well, I didn't want to get too deep, but
in league. Now that's a nice turn.
I like that.
You like that?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
I was in league with this guy, and it's so crazy because he's from Detroit, and he was a barber, right? So he had to work, and he bought me tickets to see Dr. Francis Cress Welsing here in Detroit. He brought me 8 tickets, so I went, and to the thing. And before her talk began, there was a guy who was drumming. He was the drummer, and he played this song. And when he played it, I began to weep uncontrollably. When I say uncontrollably, I mean it was just so uncontrollable and so crazy. It was so crazy, and people had to come and console me. It was so random. It was a tune that he played. I asked him after everything, the dust settled. It was a tune from a Malian song from Mali. Fast forward, I'm here. My son's about 7 years old. I took him down to Morgan State to see Sweet Honey in the Rock. And they sang this song that was also a Malian song that I didn't really think anything more of it, but the same thing happened to me. I began to weep uncontrollably at the sound of this song. And when I put those two instances together, I'm thinking, how is this related? So now I'm going back to the cellular envelope, right? There's some things that are buried within us that either come to the surface on their own or that we exhume, one way or the other. Through
rituals, it could be through rituals, right? And it could be buried because of some type of trauma. Yeah.
Trauma. There's a lot of understanding that needs introspection, but I bring that out to go back to what you were saying about, the young people and how the parents are, inculcating these things and ideas and rituals, as you would say, habits, and how we carry them forth. You were about to say, I'm sorry.
I got another example. Big son. Like Big used to have a habit of always scratching the side of his nose. Like Big would talk every time he talked, he like this. His son been doing that since he was born.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. CJ still do it. Wow. He been doing it since he was a kid. That same exact motion. Because I used to see it, I was like, oh shit. Like I used to tap dudes. And I was like, yo, bro.
Well, we tell the shorties, we have affirmations at 9:50 every morning, right? So when we're doing our affirmations, it's always what always comes up is why we do it. Like, what is that? Like, what is libations? And I was like, well, Dig, we pour libations on the continent too. Some of the things that we do in our daily lives, we don't even know where they came from. You know what I'm saying? Pouring libation, pour out a little liquor.
For the
we did that. Yeah. And clapping birds. You know what I'm saying? That's a West African tradition as well. You know what I'm saying? So what we always use these things, we have to, because we go back to phenomenon, using that phenomenon to make the act in the desired manner. We have to use the phenomenon now, whatever it is. We got to make it applicable to the things that we do every day. That gets the children. When they see Huey P. Newton in the wicker chair with the spear and the shotgun, see the gun, they're like, whoa, who's that?
Immediately.
Who's that? I like that. Woo, who is that about, Marcus? Come on, let me tell you who that dude is. You know what I'm saying? So having these images around constantly and making sure that they understand the images are their people, right? So giving acknowledge to our ancestors, those are things that are paramount, you know, after school. You know what I'm saying? We always do that every day before we eat, you know, at 10 o'clock every morning, we boom, boom. So they have to know. Now, do they do it at home? Probably not. But when they do it in school, they understand the significance of, you know, giving honor and respect to our ancestors, like off the top. But those rituals that's been that's inside of us. You know, you call it cellular envelope. I like that because that is accurate. You know what I'm saying? Because the cells, we know that Henrietta Lacks. We understand, you know, that whole concept too. But we as quote unquote conscious Africans, we have to be, again, scientific on what we teach and how we teach it, because the children have very impressionable minds. You know what I'm saying? Their absorption rate is extremely high. You know what I'm saying? Man, Obi is rapping one of Ransom's rhymes in the back, like
wow.
Him and Dave East is one of the cuts that I like. Him and Dave East and Ransom. He in the back, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, what is that? You singing? He was like, yeah, that's the mix with this is what he said. He said, that's the mix with Layla Hathaway. I was like, so I mean, just the things that he says that he hears me say maybe once or twice, like it's there, it's logged in. You know what I'm saying? So what if you keep telling a little dude like that, like, man, you cold, you're gonna do some amazing, you're gonna be amazing when you grow up.
Right.
You say that over and over again.
You know, so that goes back to what I was saying about Dr. Jawanza Kunjufu's
his book, yeah. No, I didn't. Unfortunately, Tad, I didn't read Kunjufu's book until shoot, I was like in my 30s because I wasn't even hip to it. So, So quick story on him. So I'm doing a magazine, right? So my homie, you know, it's 12 bookstores in the city of Chicago. I had my man in Brooklyn, A&B Books, my man Rao. He was my dude.
On Lawrence Street. Yeah.
Man, that was my dude. I love that brother. So he was like, look, you know, you got a bookstore in Chicago on 95th Street. I was like, yeah, what's the name of it? African Images. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go down there. I'm gonna see if they want to take some of the magazines, right? You know, I was on a bus. See, I'm 200 magazines on my back on the bus all over Chicago, right? So I'll go down 95th Street. He's like, yeah, I want to talk to Dr. Kunjufu. Okay, he comes out. I was like, look, this is what I'm doing. Woo-woo. Now the issue was on the boule, right?
Right.
So this is a particular issue on the boule. So this is a true story. So I was like, yeah, I want to see if you want to interested in consignment. I want to put a few in your store, right? He was like, let me look at it. He has his wife named Rita Kunjufu. Nice sister. So she looks at it. He was like, you know about the boule? He's fanning through it like this. He's like, you know about the boule? I said, yeah, we did a little research on it. He said, who was we? I said, Steve Coakley, myself, cat named Robert X, another brother we had, Randy. He does one of these numbers. He looks at it like this. He was like, yeah, we ain't gonna be taking this shit.
Wow. Did you find out the reason why?
Yeah, I'll tell you on another occasion. But see the thing is, now again, does that minimize the book? Right. Absolutely not. Right? It just speaks of the politics
within the
within the movement. That's what I was saying earlier about leadership not getting along. Because I've been fortunate enough to sit at the feet of some giants.
Yeah. Yes.
And everybody don't get along.
Yeah.
Like it's just a fact. Everybody don't get along.
Everybody, see, and I'm tripping because some of the people was telling me about Kaba. I was like, look, I don't know what y'all talking about.
Right.
Everything this brother then gave me as relative to research and documentation.
Yes.
Super solid. So See, my
He
thing is
sent me
this.
curriculums, and I was like,
"Come on, man, come on." See,
I like this. He's a genuine good spirit.
I don't think a lot of people understand what a bibliography is in most books.
Right.
No, because all right, you want to research? Because and I don't think it's taught in schools anymore.
It's not.
Because if you want to research,
the
book you read gives you references to back up what they saying, so you can really research.
Right. We was talking about earlier, Doc.
Yeah, and we're not even talking about peer review work. We ain't talking about peer review work. We just talk about a bibliography. What sources you use?
Right, where you get this from?
Yeah,
where you get this craziness from?
Yeah,
all right, check that out. And that goes back to what Gutter was saying earlier about the information we get. No matter who wrote it, they put their slant on it.
That's right. That's right.
You know what I'm
saying? And you have to have discernment.
Yes.
Discernment.
That's what I was about to, because that's what a lot of people lack. They lack discernment. I hate to say it, a lot of people lack, because if you read 5 stories, and they all revolve around the same thing, you know what I mean? You should have the discernment to be able to see, like, all right, this like, because you can bring them all together and see what don't match.
But Gutter, listen, you got to be able to read first.
That's true. That's definitely true.
You got to be able to read the 5 stories.
Right.
Hey, and if you can't read, you damn sure can't write.
Right.
Listen, I'm gonna say this, right? This is like a couple weeks ago. I go and I told Tad about it. Remember, I went to SP opening his dispensary, Styles P.
Yeah, Styles P.
So I go to the joint, we having a conversation about the younger dudes, and so, but you know, this is street things, but at the same time, we were speaking all over.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We was talking about errors, and one thing I pointed out, I was like, yo, bro, I hate to say it, but the younger generation, like, dudes is dumb.
Man.
Like, dudes is literally dumb as a bag of rocks. Like, dudes is irresponsibly dumb.
It's unfortunate too, man.
You know what I mean?
It's unfortunate, yeah.
And it's like,
yeah,
you can't, like, you can blame us for certain things, but when that generation that, even though we may have engaged in street activities, one thing about my generation, it was, you wasn't cool being a dummy.
Right. Not then.
Like, me and you the same age. I'll be 56 in October. Yeah. So you know that. Like, it was, if you went in the streets and you dumb, you're not gonna make it long.
Right.
And nobody wanted you around.
Nah. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. That's I don't mean you getting killed. I mean you're not gonna make it long because nobody wants you around.
So, but like, see now though, and you're right. But see now, solution wise, right? My focus has to be, again, and I'm going to reiterate until the lights go out. We have to focus on the shorties. So leadership, Tad was talking about leadership. We have to be able to identify those brothers who want to teach the adults, those brothers with the rites of passage programs like Ali McBride up in New Jersey, doing a dope job with his crew, and then lead the shorties up to me and a selected flute. And we can split the work up, right? But leadership does that. Leadership says, look, Bob Marcus good with the shorties. Let him do that. Let's organize something where we get more children under his tutelage or through his network or whatever, right? Older, middle students, let's do that. Let's do adults too. So that's what leadership does. Leadership gives us direction and it enhances our vision. All leaders don't necessarily have to be visionaries, though. A good leader can say, hey, Sister Micah, this is what she's good at. I'm going to have her sit next to me and help in development of XYZ for our children. There's not enough to me, and I definitely could be wrong. Hope I am wrong. There's not enough of our leaders giving out positions.
That's a fact. Nah,
We're
you
not
right.
giving out positions. For one, we don't respect a lot of these dudes.
Right.
A lot of
A
these
lot of these
dudes
dudes
ain't
we don't
really
respect.
leaders as well.
So it's kind of like, I ain't taking no orders from this clown because what he done did. But it's leaders out here now that people respect, that they can start giving out positions. I'm waiting for a cat to give me a position.
Right.
I listen.
So Brother Marcus,
Yeah.
leadership. I think people get confused what leadership is because we have our scholars, we have our organizers and our leaders. And just because someone is articulate,
right,
and they're popular, people look at that as leaders. Right. And people who designate themselves the self-appointed leaders don't do the work to be a leader.
Correct.
Just want to be important. Me, like I said, I be on people's line and I'm hard on people. See, for those who may not know, I always say I came into the movement with Dr. Khalid Muhammad. I met him in a corner store on Clinton and Fulton in Brooklyn. We exchanged numbers. He called me. He sent me to an organization in Bed-Stuy. I rock with them. I learned the principle of activism. I say that, right? Right, Brother Marcus? Because I thought reading the books was enough.
Yeah.
Just knowing it. But once he put me with the organization, no, you got to do something with that. You got to agitate the consciousness. You got to organize the people. You got to go confront the enemy.
That's right.
You got to pull up at City Hall and all these places where people are making decisions about you, but without you.
That's right.
So I'm like, damn, this is different.
Yeah.
We really got to come outside. And then we had the exercise. We had to do self-defense, all kind of stuff that I ain't reading in them books.
Yeah.
So I'm of the mindset that I was under good leadership, a lot of leaders. Two of them I always give props to was our brother Irritated Genie. Everybody not wild about Genie, but I definitely give him his props for
I love that brother. I love it.
Yeah, you know, that's my bro.
Yeah, you get out.
And my other brother, Minister Vernon Wells of the 100 Blacks in Law Enforcement Who Care, and also the African Village of New York. You know, I've learned a lot about leadership under these two men.
Let me tell you a quick story about Dr. Khalid.
Yeah.
Right. So I met Doc through Steve, right?
Okay.
So he on the magazine. He like,
yeah, before after their disagreement.
Which one? Which disagreement?
Okay.
They had a couple of them. But this was before the main one. This was before the main one, right? And you know the main one was over the minister.
Okay, yes.
We could talk about that after thing.
Yes.
Anyway, this is real quick though. So I met Doc, right, through Steve. So me and Doc, we chopping up. He was like, yeah, like the magazine, we gonna do an interview. We're gonna do an interview, right? So I did an interview with him. I had Steve interview Doc, right?
Okay.
So I had an issue where I said, Dr. Khalid Muhammad versus the Nation of Islam, right? Man.
Wrong title?
I mean, it was right for me. Right. It was right for me. So Cat's hot, right? Cat's hot. It's fired up, right? People in Chicago talking about everything, right? So then he hit me up on the phone. Oh, yeah, Doc, what's up? He was like, look, this his words. He said, I want to make Frontline Magazine the official newspaper, the official magazine for the new Black Panther Party, right?
Okay.
I was like, you sure? He said, yeah. He said, I'm going to send you an advertisement. That I want to run an advertisement in the middle of the magazine, right? I said, cool. He sent the Federal Express. When I got it, I called him. I was like, Doc, you're not gonna be able to run this. Why not, Brother Marcus? Why not? I was like, you got these 5 people. It's a picture of these 5 people, right? He had Marcus Garvey, he had Malcolm X, he had Huey P. Newton, and he had Elijah Muhammad on there, right?
Right.
But he had Elijah Muhammad at the bottom. He didn't do it intentionally. He just told me, this is what I want, right?
Right.
I was like, man, that's going to cause a problem. Let me change it, right?
Well, that was 4 people you said, though, right?
How many I say? 5?
You said 5, but you named 4.
I don't even remember who the 5th one was. I don't even remember. But it was key because it was a problem, right? So I ran the ad, right? So he said, okay, give me a certain amount, and then we gonna we gonna move him for you, right? We gonna move him. I said, okay, cool. 5 days later, he's gone, right? So the sentiment in Chicago is atrocious. The sentiment in Chicago, I'm repeat. I ain't gonna do it 3 times. I'm gonna repeat. The sentiment in Chicago.
That's 3 times.
Was
the sentiment in Chicago.
I'm not gonna do it 3rd time.
Chicago.
It was atrocious, brother. Like for obvious reasons, right? So after talking, we talked maybe 5 or 6 times. We didn't talk a lot though, but he was getting heat from 2 different, 3. The state, NOI, and Black Panther Party. They didn't want him to use the name. They didn't want him to use the name.
Right.
Because
so that was the new Black Panther Party.
Yeah.
Right.
That was big. I mean, and that affected him. Like because he had a high level of respect. But talking to chairman, I kind of understand. Though. I understand both sides. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have did it. Well, I wasn't in leadership, so nonetheless, that's not something that's not a way I would have did the whole thing with him using the name. But yeah, it was a big deal because they had a strong contingency in Chicago. New Black Panther Party did.
Okay.
And then chairman's here. So chairman got a say in it too. That's his father now. You know what I'm saying? So and then we was close. So Doc was my man. Like he was he was every time he came in Chicago though.
I told Jeannie
the boys up the street, they wasn't they wasn't.
I told Jeannie, I said he got the spirit of Dr. Khaled, not the personality, but the spirit.
Yeah, I can see that.
He loved Black folks.
I can see that.
I don't think people know Jeannie eat, breathes, and sleeps our liberation.
Yeah.
That's the only conversations we have.
Yeah.
It's like even in downtown, dinner time, breakfast time, whatever we doing, because we done traveled the country and everything. Yeah. I said, wow, he sound like Doc. But see, when I was under Doc, I was younger. So I didn't know nothing. So I used to just be quiet.
Yeah.
I didn't join in grown folks' conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Were you old enough to go to the Men Youth March in New York?
Yes, I was there. In fact, I took my children and my mother because my mother was reluctant to be around. She said, well, you be careful with him. You be careful with him. Yeah. So we took the children, and my mother seen that, the police started. Because what she knew about Dr. Khaled is what the news would report. And of course, like they said in the news, in the newspapers, that he started a riot and ran off, jumped in his Rolls Royce, which is very comfortable. That's the only Rolls Royce I've ever been in. But what was so crazy, those who was there, remember, he walked through the crowd. He walked through Harlem.
I was there. We drove from Chicago. We drove from Chicago.
He did not, because I go to work. People like, I see your boy start trouble and he runs. I said, yo, he ain't go nowhere. He walked through Harlem. He walked right through Harlem with the people.
Yeah, I remember that.
A lot of good memories. And so what I constantly tell people, Brother Marcus, is a lot of folks focus on the past. And I love that you work with our young people. That's the future. But I always tell people, with the work we do right now, we're literally making history, whether we want to acknowledge it or not. But we got to be present in the moment. And mindful of what it is we doing and what we represent. That's why sometimes I be hard on dudes that miss, like Sucker Polite. I just call them Sucker Polite. I'm not scared of these dudes. I've been around enough of these dudes to know that they're not from where we're from.
Who is that?
Sucker Polite. They call him Brother Polite.
What do he do?
He's from the conscious community in Harlem, but he's locked up for
conscious community pedophile.
Snap.
Really?
Pedo on him. Because the little girl came back with a busted lip and
you ain't gotta say no more. But
I told Jeannie
I think what's funny with Irritated Jeannie, back when we was doing the magazine, I was getting subscription of money orders. Right, and I was like, "What is SV? What was it called? SV? His organization was called V something.
PKV.
PKV. And I was like, what is,
I was like,
who is these people in DC, right? I got to meet these cats, right?
Right.
And come to find out, it's Irritated Gene. That cat was supporting me back in like 96,
right.
96, 97. And then when I met him, I was like, man, this cat thorough, man. I'm about to get some time to this cat.
One of the most thorough you're gonna meet.
Yeah, he thorough dude.
One of the most thorough you're gonna meet. You know what I'm saying? And that's why when we talk about leadership, and you know, a lot of people look for leniency, and you know, he's very rigid. let's be clear. He runs a tight ship.
Yeah, especially according to David Banner.
Yeah, he runs a tight ship. Yeah, David Banner. David Banner ain't know what he was walking into.
He knew what he was walking into, wasn't it, bro?
So what it was, right, is in straight black pride, you know, you don't throw around the N-word. And David Banner kept throwing that word around. And dude's like, yo, hold up, we don't use that here. We got children here, yo, and we don't use that word in this room. Yeah, David Banner kept going, and he almost got hands and feet put on him. I was in Africa at the time. But you could have called me. They're like your brother Tad. David Banner almost got the beat. And he had the Nation of Islam as security, but nobody was scared. Not saying that the FOI is soft by no stretch of the imagination, but you know, you're dealing with men.
Right.
Dealing with warriors.
Yeah, you can't be scared though.
Right. David Banner ain't want to respect the rules. So, you know, rules got to get enforced when they don't get respected.
No question. Respect the structure, B.
No, that's a fact.
Word.
Or don't speak.
Yeah, hands and feet.
Hands and feet. And look, we got some strong, solid brothers too. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to our brother Big Salih. You know what I'm saying? Our brother Kev. Our brother Conrad. We got a lot of solid brothers in the Straight Black Pride movement. That was a beautiful thing. And I say, when I stepped down, right, Brother Marcus, I was dealing with a lot of personal stuff. And that's what I was sharing with the people.
How the sister doing? It's your homegirl, right?
Which one?
With the natural.
Sister Keisha?
Keisha, yeah. How's she doing?
Yeah, she good. She would have been here today, but that's Key Fighter. Yeah. That's Key Fighter. She's under the weather right now.
Okay, tell her I said what's up.
Definitely. That was her in the chat. You know, that's my sister from another mister, man. Love her to life. What's so funny about me and Sister Keisha, she saw me at the UAM one day and just pointed me out in the crowd. She said, I know who you are, brother. She said, me and you gonna work together. Watch. And then both sides of her family know me because, you know, I used to be outside. I was in the streets. Yeah. You know, Gutter's the generation before me. You know what I'm saying? But we was outside in the streets for real. Yeah. But both sides of her family like, what you doing with Tad? But, you know, I had a good rapport with her family, but some of her family knew some of the ops. And like the kids say, we was outside.
What happened to Arthur Maddox? What happened to Arthur Maddox organization?
After his wife transitioned and he transitioned, you know, it just it fizzled down because, you know, a lot of the members age. However, our brother Ray is keeping the spirit alive with the William Mackey BK study group. They're on YouTube as well, and he hosts guests and lectures. You know, I've been fortunate enough to speak there a couple of times, but you know, our brother Ray, he's still keeping the spirit alive.
That's good. You know? That's good. I like Arthur Maddox. I like what Maddox was doing up there in Brooklyn.
Oh, definitely. You know, and that's why, you know, as I talk about leadership, because of course another exemplary leader, I'm challenging all dudes who want to come in leadership, man. We got to start putting them to the fire, man. You can't just come in because you got a lot of YouTube followers and Instagram likes that now you the most requested whatever. Right. Nah, that don't cut it. We need results like what you're producing. And many people don't know you, and your work is so loud. You're quiet, but your work speaks volumes. And like you said, you got blinders on. So you're not even in the debates with what other people are talking about. You are focused on what all of us say we're supposed to be focused on: the education and the security of our children.
Now, you know what? I was having a discussion with one of my instructors, right? He got his ear to the ground with the internet stuff, right? So he's like, Kline, we got to start debating, right? I'm like, man, I ain't even interested in that shit. Like that ain't even important to me. But talking to him, you know, I got a new insight on where the important how it's important. It does have its relevancy, right? we can use it, but from what I've been seeing, I don't see where children can use it in that way.
No,
I see it as being
a marketing strategy.
Yeah, and a tool for learning.
All that is. Yeah,
because that's what debate is.
Yeah.
See, a debate and argument is different. Like we can debate fact, we can debate ideas and opinions, right? And we can present facts. So as those facts are presented, that's when we learn, right?
Right.
So if it's brought correctly, the children can learn from that. See, everything that I read and 95% of what I do, I try to figure out how I can
use it and
give it to the children, right? Like that. Those are my blinders. Everything, a book, ingredients on the back on the label, everything, right? So even a debate, when facts are presented properly, and debating is a skill.
Yes.
You have a debate class that teach you how to score points, how to, it's a skill, right? So presenting in a correct form and fashion.
We had a class for that in high school.
Children can learn from that. So but from what I see on Facebook.
Yeah, because the internet done washed everything up, because what everybody's doing, instead of trying to get results, the best idea for results, everybody just want to one up somebody else. Prove
They not even
that they are. No, it's not. No, it's not it's not actually a debate.
It's not a lot of, because all right, if you have a point of view, just like all right, we're gonna go to Sonetta joint. If you got a point of view about say Mesopotamia was before Kemet, and you arguing, but all y'all doing is denigrating each other and calling each other pseudo and all that. It's like it's not a debate. Y'all having an argument. Like nothing is being presented where somebody can learn from.
Right. So if you wanna develop a higher form of censorship, because that's what I have. Like some of my students, we don't watch particular things, because if I allowed them to watch that, they would have a very minimal idea of how Black men interact with each other, right? So censorship in that form, I ain't doing it. Like, I don't have it on my computer. So if the students come by on my laptop and they hitting something, they'll never see anything like that. Like World Star, those things. So those things are promoted. They're promoted by the social construct in order to keep us, keep us looking at each other in a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Right. So let's take that time and develop some type of lesson plan. Again, saying, okay, what can those children be doing productive in replace of that time that they're spending on an iPad or TikTok or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Those developmental theories are important for us when it comes, again, to learning and taking up time that is wasted. A lot of time is wasted. 13.5 hours a week. Children between the age of 7 and 9 spend in front of their phone or iPad. 13.5 hours. So I could teach a shorty how to read I could teach how to read ISIS papers in 13 and a half hours. You know what I'm saying? So, and understand and reading comprehension too. So we necessarily, like we mentioned before, we can't read, which in turn we can't comprehend what someone else read. Someone else wrote. You know what I'm saying? So we can't have an articulate conversation about it because we can't articulate. So those are three mechanisms in the form of English that we can't perform. We can't spell, we can't read to comprehend, and again, we can't articulate what we read because again, we can't read. So why would you expect, or how would you expect a cat doing a debate to be able to articulate properly? You know what I'm saying? What his facts has found. You know what I'm saying? So what came first, the chicken or the egg? Can you reading or reading comprehension, whatever. So we can't do neither. So teaching the children now reading comprehension again is one of the most important things, even before math to me. Reading before math, because by the time they get to the 4th grade, it's word problems. Yep. So they're going to have to be able to understand the problem and proper reading mechanics before they can actually do advanced word problems. So again, man, you know,
Yeah.
reading
So,
to
Brother
me.
Marcus, our time is winding down. This is we went overtime and it still
We
flew
went an
by.
hour over.
We're gonna have to have you back.
Still don't got enough time.
Whenever you want, you got me. As long as it's a Saturday or Sunday, I'm solid. I would love to do it in the classroom.
Oh man, look, what we hour difference?
Yeah.
Look, we
You
might,
hour ahead.
brother.
Yeah,
We might have to just.
You
Man,
beat me
look.
to it. You beat me to it, brother Tad.
Tad, you know I don't got no problem. Like right now,
you do it in the class.
I'm in the process of getting ready to go to school anyway. So
we're gonna have Brother Marcus and Brother Gutter in class together.
In class, we can do it in class. I got a 10 o'clock, which is 11 o'clock your time. I got a 1 o'clock. That 1 o'clock a monster though. We got African history at 1 o'clock.
We gotta set up a weekday that we can link up and do one of your 1 o'clock and let you really show our audience
real time.
I love to do it
real time what you doing with these kids.
Because
Tuesday and Thursday.
I was looking for the video where the young brothers, where you had them studying Sheikh Anta Diop. It was,
man, that was last week. Wait a minute, that's on my phone. Look, I got a summary, right? So what I did, I summarized all the chapters of Diop book.
I'm gonna try to find it real quick.
Man, look,
man, I'm listening.
We laid it out so tough. I just did a summary, so they wasn't reading the whole chapters. They was just reading the summary.
Civilization or Barbarians?
Yeah.
Oh,
talking about mono.
Ooh. What? This is on your YouTube?
It's on
Facebook. It's on my Facebook page.
Okay.
And what were their ages?
6, 7, 8.
Ooh.
Yeah, 6, 7, and 8. The little girl that you saw reading, she was busting it out too. So she was like, she told her mama, she said, "Mama, you gotta know what polygenetic and monogenetic mean, right?" Ooh. So the mama, we real cool. So she came and she said, "About Marcus, what book y'all read?" I said, "That's Civilization and Barbarism by Sheikh Anta Diop." So she was like, "All right, bet." She said, "All right, bet. I'm gonna get the book. Just tell me what page you read," because she liked that though. Like she on top of it for real. So she got the book. Woo woo. So she's reading, and I asked her on the video. I said, "So, do you believe?" I said, "Do you believe in monogenetic?" That ain't the one. He's reading it though, but that ain't her. That's Island. I say, "Do you believe mono?"
Right, this is our African history lesson
right there. Let's say first grader.
Which right here? Where we at?
Keep going.
First grade.
Going right there.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right, she's back by popular demand. She's doing.
Oh no, my fault. That's grammar. I'm sorry. Right. Wrong one. I'm seeing.
I mean, you got so much work, but this speaks to what you're doing in the community. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, you started at home. Everybody's saying they need millions.
You're gonna identify each word in the sentence.
No, you don't need that. You don't need that. But no, let me just summarize. I know y'all gotta go. So real quick, what she said was, what's that? Medical.
I still want to show the people though.
Okay. Which one is it? Is it
not? That's reading medical terms.
All right, check the one that say 42 seconds. Get to that one on your end. That right one, there. Yeah. I think that might be it right there.
Say that. Say she want to do these chemicals, huh? Yeah. You want to do these compounds? You ready?
Dang, where is that though?
Because you had them going.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, they sitting here discussing Diop. And that's what the people need to see. Real work.
We gotta go back up then. Let me see. Go back up. Dang, I don't even see it, man.
It's not medical.
Oh, there you go. Up right there. There you go. Right there. Reading Diop. Go to the left.
Yeah, first grader reading Diop.
Right.
All the way to the left.
Right there.
Yeah. Right there. That one. Oh, yeah.
All right. You ready? What you reading today? Okay. Sheikh Diop. Good. Go ahead.
Diop supports monogenetic theory of humanity, which I use that all humanity originated in Africa, and early humans include ancient Egyptians were Black Africans.
Okay, good. So the monogenetic theory of humanity is what? It says humanity started where?
In Africa.
Okay, in Africa. Good. Next.
The southern cradle origins.
What was that? The what?
This southern cradle origin is fundamental to understanding the development of African civilization partially.
Not partial.
Particularly, can the ancient Egypt use advanced society?
All right, pause right there, G. Pause right there. Pause right there.
Under
So you all right, so real quick, because I know you gotta conclude. Yeah. So with that, right? Crazy. The students, they remember what's emphasized, right?
Right.
So red and black, when you're using it on paper, right? Red identifies emphasis, right? So they can, when they read, they can remember the formation of the words, right? I mean, I'm telling you, the study of the brain is ridiculous, brother. I'm telling you, you would spend hours just on that. So if I told, the reason why I'm bringing that up is, if I told her to turn around and say, okay, say the sentence, the first sentence backwards, right? She would say the words in order backwards, because she took a picture of the whole sheet. So when your children, you're in the audience, and even yours, grandchildren, whatever,
Right.
There's 3 ways our children learn, right?
Yep.
Kinetic, touching, right? Yep. Visual, right? When people say, man, dude got a photographic memory, that is true. I have children that can prove it. And auditory, right? They can hear it, they can see it, and they learn it through some type of
tactile,
tactile, right? So what the system doesn't do is they don't look at the other 2. Right. They just focus on the visual. So when their children are tested, and they're tested on what they see visually, but what if they need to hear it? They don't do well. Right. What if they're tactile or kinesthetic? They don't do well. So now that student has been labeled not smart, right? Cool, right? So you have to, and this is one thing that I heard Dr. Umar say, which I agree. When before you get the diagnoses, you have to do the assessment on your child. Because just because he can't do well on a test on paper doesn't mean he gets the moniker that will last him for the rest of his life, or her for the rest of her life, right? So you have to figure it out. And it's easy to do. Like when you start testing your children, a test can be anything. Like we said, read this, read the menu, right? Damn, but you know that word. So why can't you say it, right? Boom, you can figure it out. You got eye tests, hearing tests that need to be taken, or before they get this ADD and ADDH identification. These things aren't tested. Only thing that's tested is what they read or couldn't read, you know what I'm saying, on paper. You know, I see the lady in the public school in the back, you know, with the clipboard, you know, making off checks of Shorty while she observes him in the classroom, you know what I'm saying, and medication follows, right? So those things, again, not only are they very important, again, we use the word tantamount. There's nothing more important right now today than teaching the children who they are with affirmations, history lessons at night, being proud of, their hair, being proud of their nose, being proud of everything about them, right? Loving themselves, right? Cool. So how is that done? The girls, they have to learn off the top, off rip. Man, my hair is what's up, right? I ain't changing it. I ain't changing this for nobody. You know what I'm saying? And I got some girls in school who drive on that, right? It's important, right? So,
very important.
Yeah. So to me, teaching is more than just in the classroom, man. It's life lessons that we have to give our children. Again, especially the boys. The boys are just taught differently than girls in schools anyway. Girls have a different set of issues, but boys, it's man, that war is protracted with them boys. You know what I'm saying? So I think
want no warriors.
No, because then we can't protect the sisters anyway.
Right.
So we want to make the boys out of girls. We want all them to be together.
Baba Rudy said they want the men to be little white girls.
That's right.
They want them to be little white girls,
That's
not
right.
just gay, but little white.
No, they don't want us to fight at all. They don't want to lift nothing. You know what I mean? So, but man, again, brother, I appreciate y'all having me on. Whenever y'all need me back, I'm here.
Definitely.
We're gonna schedule that joint where we come into your classroom.
Man, come to the classroom, man. Hey, but my son, I had him teaching too. He used to teach when he was at. I
saw that too, teaching the shorties. Yeah, I tell you, I be following. Sometimes I like. Sometimes I just be quiet.
Yeah, you just teach. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. But I tell people all the time, Facebook give me 95% of my parents, man.
Yeah. See,
and that was my next building like.
That was my next question. How can the people follow and support you?
They can go to like the website down there that you got to donate. That's good, but it should be .net. But you still get that's cool. You still get the page. The pages still come up.
Okay.
You go to the website. If they want to donate, they can. Just share a video. You see something on Facebook, share it. Because that's how we generate revenue. Parents come in, like we meet parents like specifically, like, man, I saw you on Facebook. Like, I want my son to be doing what that little guy did. Okay, you want to give me time though, brother. Them sure he's been here like 2-3 years. That ain't like an overnight thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it takes time for that. It's not a magic wand type of thing. You know what I'm saying? I gotta.
So before you go, what do you want the people to walk away with? The one thing out of this dope conversation, what do you want them to take home with them today?
Lesson plans. We need that at home. We need it, man. We need lesson plans. We need for the parents to be able to write, not even a curricula yet, just lesson plans. Figure out what your children can and can't do. Once you figure that out, you can build that on your own. You don't need me for that. But if you do need me, you can reach me through the website, But man, lesson plan. Let's figure out where our children are deficient. Don't leave it up to the system. Let's figure it out on ourselves. Man, my son got all A's. You know how they take reading tests at school? They take reading tests based on what grade the children are in. So if I got an 8-year-old, 7-year-old, whatever, he in the 3rd grade, they give him a reading assignment, right? It's either 1st or 2nd grade. So Shorty get an A on it. He come home, he thinking he's on his level. That doesn't mean you're on the level. You got to do your own assessments. That's assessments online you could take. But just don't go by the all A's thing. The honor roll thing is trash. That thing is trash. I got students right now that come in and bad my marks. I was on the honor roll at my other school. Okay, yeah, read this.
Yeah, it's very subjective.
Very subjective.
Who your teacher is and how much they like you, and if you brought them a gift.
Right. That's true though. It's politics in the classroom.
There's politics everywhere.
Yeah, because like by the time I got to junior high school, and like I told Tad this, I was getting straight A's up until around that time, and then it wasn't intelligence, it was attitude.
Yeah,
where you get demerits off of attitude. They don't got nothing to do with intelligence. If the teacher don't like you,
Yeah.
You can have this and you still not gonna get that A.
And then don't forget too, 86, 87 was a crack epidemic.
Yeah. Oh, so they ain't care.
So me, I was in high school. I graduated 87. So in 85, 80, 84, 85, 86, man, cats weren't going to school no more.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Cats weren't going. So if you look at the major metropolises in the United States, New York City, Detroit, Chicago, LA, you know what I'm saying? Cats, man, them numbers were so low. Hey, my son, I'm gonna leave y'all with this. My son told me, he said last month, he saw the statistics for enrollees in HBCU, boys entering into HBCUs. Algerman, you listening? What was that number you told me? Boys entering into HBCU, men, young men entering HBCU. You talking about between 10 and 15%, G. So where we at?
And we
ain't going to PWIs. We ain't going to PWI.
We going to jail. That's where they going.
15%. Okay, specifically. Right. So he said specifically at Howard. So 15% of enrollees entering Howard University. But you could use that as a sample size.
Yeah.
Because if it's 15% going
popular ones.
Right. So if 15%
you can shrink it actually. You can actually shrink it.
What year was that?
What year was that? You remember?
Article came out this year. So it had to be
24. 2024, wow. 2020,
imagine all the other ones that's not as popular.
That's what I'm saying.
They get even less.
Right. So the ones with low entry requirements, right?
Right.
Because Howard has, Howard, what's that? FAMU, Morehouse. They have the highest entry requirements, right? So look at the smaller schools. So that's 9, 10. Where we at though? Where are we?
Yeah, where are we? If that's 15% at
it's
Howard,
nasty. It don't matter where we at. It's nasty. It look nasty.
You see? So why in the hell would I be concerned with what dude doing?
Right.
It's action plans need to be put in place.
That's it.
For me, I ain't just talking about for y'all. For me,
everybody.
I need to get on the horn with cats that's putting the work in these cities. Like, man, let's at least focus on 50. Can we get 50? 50 young boys and girls. Just 50. And then do another 50 in another city. Them action plans, man.
Yeah.
That's when you become
not a lot at all.
That's when you become dangerous, brother.
Yeah.
Now you dangerous. Cats ain't man, the feds looking at you for what?
Right.
What the feds watching you for? What you do that's going to threaten the establishment right now? No.
A Facebook post. A Facebook post.
Well, they love to air it out on Facebook for whatever reason. I don't know why.
But you know what? You know what, Doc? Doc, they think that's the work.
That's the work.
You see what I posted on Facebook, right?
Right.
That's the new era, though.
Word.
That's the new dynamic. Like I told you, like we didn't discuss this too many times. Like the internet age, it's a new dynamic. Like you can, it's like it's the internet age is really like prison. You can come to jail and be whatever you can come to the internet and be whatever you can be.
Be whatever you want.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You can do this, you can do that. Boo, 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 boo.
Dude online. The dude's online. He called me all kind of names. Man, you don't want to debate me about he said something that what he say? He said some
debate him.
He said black people wasn't here. He said black people wasn't here before Columbus. He said it was something he said, right? Wow. I say, man,
you actually got on the internet and told you,
man. Look, man, look. Listen.
It's 15% enrollment. What am I talking to you about this? About like,
come on,
we got work.
You don't know that black people was here before Columbus. All right,
but that argument right there in of itself is asinine,
right?
Because if you know age and you supposed to be historically intelligent person, like why would you even bring that up?
To throw him
I was
off
thinking,
his path and to muddy the waters. That's what it's about,
right,
muddying the
exactly.
water.
That's right. That's right. And I see these cats too, and I'm like, man. And then if let's say one of my students, a high schooler, he say he watching, he like, man, Bob Marcus, why are you?
Why you even talking to him?
Why
Yeah, why you even talking to him?
why are you so then that made me look like I'm less intelligent because I'm
Yeah,
I'm,
they look at
I'm,
me like, I'm 12 years old and I don't even want to talk to
That's
him.
something one of your students could have a debate with this grown ass man.
I had a little sister. I had a little sister to wash him up.
but you know what? She probably like, I ain't got time either.
Word,
I'm
right?
about to go play with my Legos.
I'm studying polynomials. Like you don't know that black people was here first.
Yeah.
All right, brothers and sisters, I appreciate y'all, man.
Brother, we appreciate you too.
Yeah, I love y'all. Whenever y'all need me, I'm here.
Definitely. We definitely gonna reach out, brother. You stay up, all right?
That's right.
Peace.
Love and gratitude. Absolutely.
Very good to see you again.
You too, sis.
Give thanks.
It was a beautiful bill.
Yeah. Brother, what you want to lead the ladies first? Dr.
Yes,
Covington,
please.
before we get up out of here, what do you want to lead the people with?
King Ted, we did talk a bit before the show opened earlier
Yes, we did.
about we talked a little bit about entertainer worship. I think I was remarking, how tired I am of entertainer worship.
Yes.
And it is interfering. I took notes when we were talking because I wanted to just make sure that this was a salient point to make for all of the viewership. It's interfering with our ability to take things seriously and to be taken seriously by the larger group, whether that's state, federal, or the world, right? There's a lack of scholarship and proper, robust journalism. And that's a shout out because I was watching some political excerpts today, and it's just a mockery being made of, politics and journalism. And so how can we put forth proper journalism if our young people are not going into such fields as journalism, for example? And why are they not going into such journalism? Because we have an issue with reading and writing. We were struggling before COVID, but COVID has set us back. I won't say irreparably because I'm speaking life into the thing, but I will say that we have been challenged to bring our young people through this gauntlet, which is politics, post-COVID era, learning losses, etc. So how can
anti-blackness,
all the things, see, all the things, and we talked just a bit also, Brother Tad, about how AI is the gift and the curse, right?
Yes.
It will not save us. We're thinking that AI is here and it's going to save us, but we don't have enough time to talk about how the money that people are making with AI. But let's not forget, these people are online. They know about different systems. They're utilizing different systems. Our young people are not necessarily in mass utilizing those systems because there is so much learning loss that's not something that they're necessarily paying attention to. We need to get a hold of this situation. I like what the brother Marcus Kline was saying and how he was just giving us a peek into his window with regard to how he's educating the young people systematically, right? And it's not decadent, right? It's not full of fluff and, you guys know your kids, every time they come home every year, they got a new program. It's a new kind of math. It's Singapore math. It's this kind of math. I mean, math is math. Like, that's a waste of time. It's a ring around the rosy, and it's meant to confuse young people of all, ages and races. It's ridiculous.
To pretty much hamper our ability to learn.
Hamper our ability to learn. Yes, yes. And as the brother was saying, you know, when he said, I don't have time for none of that. Did you bring your homework? You know, do you know these can you pronounce these sentences? Do you know these compounds? When he pulled out the chart with the baby girl, and she was, you know, correctly restating the reciting the compounds, the chemical compounds. I'm a scientist by trade. So when I saw that, you know, my synaptic membranes went into a frenzy, right? And I believe he said that she was 7 years old.
Yeah. No, she was 5 at the time. She's 7 now.
She was 5 7. He did say that. Thank you, C Gutter. Like he did say that. And so that's the type of time that we need to be on. I'm sorry for the noise in the background, but I am sufficiently enriched by today's conversation and the brother Marcus Kline, his presence today, being on this call with you, C Gutter, and brother Ted. This was amazing, as it was promised to be. And still too short. You know, we definitely need to make a trip, and I want to be on that trip because I'm excited about the work that he's doing.
Yes. Look, this is our longest show ever.
Yeah, facts.
Doc, wow. We thank you for joining us, because you always add value to the conversation. Plus, you know, we like the feminine balance, you know. Though we're brothers, though we're leaders.
We need some feminine energy.
Yeah,
give thanks.
Fighter was here, you know, but she was with us in spirit.
She was, and she was commenting early on. I saw her comments, and give thanks for her also in her absence.
No doubt. Gutter, what you want to lead the people with?
Just like we was discussing earlier is like we gotta like we just gotta push the line on education, bro, and read.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because like it's too many times I done had conversations. Like I told you, we had the conversation with SP. When I'm having conversations with my artists. You know what I'm saying? I'm just having numerous conversations. I'm having conversations with Koku. We just having conversations about our education, lack thereof, our miseducation. You know what I mean? And like, bro, no matter where you're from, and I mean this as far as and I'm talking about black people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No matter what demographic you come from, whether you come from the streets or whatever, bro, the kids is the future.
That's a fact.
So if you outside, you know what I mean, you want to know so you can teach your kids, because the majority of the dudes that's outside is outside to take care of their kids. So they need to be educated in order to educate their kids, and so on and so forth. Like that's the key, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we gotta have builders, we gotta have thinkers, we gotta have doctors, lawyers, all of this. This is nation building. So we gotta have all like and that doesn't take away your warriorhood
at all.
That's what a lot of that's what's been messed up in these following generations.
Yeah,
like intelligence takes away from your warriorhood, like knowledge takes away from it. Doesn't it makes it strong?
Complements it. It complements
it makes your warriorhood stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because in order to be a great warrior, you got to be a scholar to a degree. You got to learn tactics. You got to learn all of this. So this is something that I'm pushing to, like, especially all the homies. You know what I'm saying? All the little homies that's out there in the streets. You want to learn. You want to learn because we need everybody.
Yeah, all hands on deck.
Yeah, nigga, y'all the soldiers. So it would behoove the young homies to get more educated instead of just being trained. You want to be educated, because that comes with discernment, and all of that comes with education.
Yep.
So now when they learn discernment and all that, these cave roaches can't trick them. They can't trick them out their spot and use the technology that we have in order to progress. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying like, bro, if you're using the technology to take the money from them cave roaches, do what you do. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it gotta serve a purpose.
Right, because you can't take it from them just to give it back.
Yeah, it has to serve a purpose.
Well, family.
So that's my message.
No doubt. I want to thank everybody for rocking out with us. This was a fast 3 hours, 3.5 hours. But I'd be remiss if I didn't shout out the usual suspects. Our sister Queen Anusa, our sister Farnessa, our sister Brooke, our brother Nice, our brother Devon,
Game Dog, James Dog 007.
Fish standing on lineage business, SMD 927. That's
Rizzo,
SL. Who else we got? We got so many folks.
Divine from Brooklyn.
Word, Divine from Brooklyn.
Professor Carl Tone.
Professor Carl Tone Jones. We got to get brother Carl Tone Jones back up on here too.
Mm-hmm.
He did a dope breakdown on one of his shows the other day. I was checking out. You know,
we got to see if we can get SP back on too.
Definitely, because
he made some good points. Is like, like I said, I'd have been very transparent. Is like, I fell back. You know what I'm saying? And I relapsed back.
We all a work in progress,
you know what I'm saying? And he made a point where he was like, man, if you went through all that, you was a bitch ass nigga. And I was like, damn, I was a bitch ass nigga.
That's what he said.
Yeah, but it's real.
It's real.
It's real. It's like dudes gotta realize, if you really on that trajectory, you gotta be on it. You know what I'm saying? Not to say you can't make mistakes. You know what I mean? But like I paid for mine. You see me, I'm running around hobbling ancestors and kick my ass twice.
Right. So
but respect. It goes to what you first said before the brother came on. You said you got to be able to stand up and you got to be able to take a punch. You got to, take those words, from other people, and you got to still stand tall and not run. And if the brother said that to you and you was able to stand strong, I respect to you.
Well, family, that's it for us tonight. I'd be remiss if I ain't shout out our brother James Dog 007, always rocking out and supporting us, and of course we say the best for last. Our sister K Fighter, get better soon, sis. Get better.
Doggy,
soon.
Good looking.
Oh yeah, definitely. Right,
dropping in.
How can I forget Doggy? I spent my whole weekend with Doggy. We went down south to see my family. I flew into Atlanta. Now he just dropped me off this morning. I flew in and I flew right back out. Flew down to him because we both pulled up on my grandma's. He's all over the place, so I got to catch him when I could catch him. Though we talk every day, you know what I'm saying. So we just flew down, caught Grandma Dukes, chilled with Grandma for the day. That was a beautiful thing. But we talk about that another time, family. Thank y'all for rocking out with us, Sister Aruba.
She said she thought you was watching the playback. We was on so long.
Oh wow, yeah, right.
Yeah,
he was, right? But family, y'all stay up, stay blessed, stay true. Remember, no matter how hard things may seem right now, it's always better days ahead. Peace.
Peace.